I haven't seen you since the plague.
Yahoo! You can't fucking win them all. This is, of course, Advanced Community Studies podcast.
We're not talking about the finale of WandaVision?
You
can't.
I mean, we ran out of time. We talked about this for 25 minutes.
We did.
One, time. Two, I'm having a real rough time at work, and I don't want to just be yelled at for disrespecting Kevin Feige's vision. You know, I don't want. I don't want the MCU cult to bear down upon me, because I was like, yeah, they could have paid off some of these storylines a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm
my elbow pads on. I'm like ready to get into a tussle about it.
No, I would just prefer to avoid it. If you and Daddy Host want to record something at some point, like, that's fine. Like, next week, if you want to talk for 20 minutes, I will play my Nintendo Switch. I
feel like I'd rather.
I will say
the underlings.
I will say this: when they focus on Wanda and Vision and the relationship between those two characters, it was a very good show. When it's about throwing different colors of laser beam at each other, I'm a little less interested in magic being stolen. But we simply won't address it here today. For time. Oh no,
Oh darn!
My clever scheme to get you talking.
Possibly make it work.
Could not make it fit in. Oh, too bad. We had to talk about.
We
culture.
Have to get to puppets on Community. That's such a better topic. What a hell of an episode for you to pull that excuse. I mean, granted, we'll take it.
Whoops. I mean, you and I just talked for 25 minutes about whatever the fuck, so, I think we got time covered.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that was my clever plan to get us talking.
That's why you brought up the AIDS crisis, you asshole.
No, it spun organically out of talking about a conversation about trans identity in media, and I used that. It's very different. I did not bait you, but I took the opening that I saw.
You're like, wait, get the trans kid to start talking. They won't shut the fuck up.
If I'm grading the show as a whole, 3.5 stars. The stuff I liked, I really liked, and then I just think it kind of lost its way. Anyway.
I will chime in and say I will give it a solid 4.2. Maybe higher. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know that we have disagreements on how certain plot lines played off, but
or didn't, yes,
or didn't, right?
Right, indeed.
I just, for me, going in, I was like, okay, what do I want, and what do I know they're going to have to do? I went in and I was like, okay, the entire purpose of WandaVision is so they can bring the Vision back.
Ugh, and I hate that.
You hated that, right? Because
that was what I didn't want.
But it was that was the point of the show, so of course they were gonna do it. But the rest of the show though was Feige being like, "Take this, Scorsese," literally being like.
And he failed to take the Scorsese. He tried, and it did not go.
Yeah,
it did not go.
There's no emotion, no psychology. He's like, I'll give you psychology. What if grief is just love persevering?
And Scorsese's like, great, I bought that on a Hallmark card 20 years ago.
And then Kevin Feige's like, yeah, but what about that ship metaphor I made?
And it was like, you didn't invent that. That's a...
Bro, we've talked about this with Star Wars for 20 years now.
That's a very standard metaphor. I like it's a good use of it, but I'm like, that's thought experiment 101.
I liked it. So
I
know y'all
liked
talking. I know I didn't join the call to hear y'all talking shit about the ship of Theseus.
No, that was what I liked.
No,
that was the good. We are. You missed it so far. We are not doing a WandaVision thing because we've already talked for like 30 minutes.
No, that's fine.
But just my wrap up thoughts were, I will say this. I fell in love with the first 2 episodes. I was like, this is a show for me and has all these elements that are exactly my shit. And then I watched over the next 8 episodes as those elements were slowly pulled out of the show and were barely remembered to be put in there. But
hot take on it. Cool.
Yeah, Kevin's got the spiciest take I've ever heard.
Yeah, my spicy take, it's a 3.5 out of 5. I wanted it to be a 4.5. It's a 3.5.
Literally, it's
That's
so. I'm like, when final
take.
episode came out, I check all my social media. I'm like, okay, now it's safe to look, and I see so many people being like, okay, this is clearly the best piece that the MCU has. You know, they're like, this is my new favorite piece from the MCU. Also, Kevin takes a sip of whatever alcohol he's got in his Moscow mug.
I was just thirsty. This is my mule mug. This is my Moscow mule mug. I was just thirsty. I'm not sipping the tea. I'm just enjoying I'm enjoying a drink I fixed for myself.
I know.
That's all I was doing. How dare I? How dare I?
How dare you, libation?
This is exactly why I was trying to not talk about WandaVision, because I know me being like, they could have done some things more effectively was going to be like, j'accuse, monsieur.
Well, for what it's worth, Kev, for the last week, you have binged Mr. J'accuse, so it would make sense. You've been the one that's like, nope, that idea is stupid. Your idea is stupid. This is stupid.
What did that do?
Kevin did say, and I quote, if that's correct, I will go to the corner store, buy crow, and fucking eat it.
Yeah, homie's been on some fucking levels for a fucking minute. So sorry.
Because Daddy Host came in with a tinfoil hat week after week. I don't know what to do.
Look, as the person in the middle of this, I will say, Kevin, damn. Caleb, damn, dude. Those were bad theories.
No, man, here's the thing. What people forgot in the year and a half we didn't get Marvel content is that Marvel content has always been a breeding ground for fantastical fan theories because we don't know how they're using the source material. Right. I love this show mostly because it was that returned, but it was that returned after an 18-month hiatus. So the theories were fucking out there. Absolutely and fuck insane. Me for being like, wouldn't that be cool? I like that theory. I like that. Did I think any of them were going to come true? Absolutely not. But that's how Marvel movies go.
Oh, he says now. He says now.
That's how Marvel movies go. That's how Marvel movies go. You sit there and go, oh my God, what if Vision becomes the Gray? What if the Mind Stone leaves him and becomes the sentient form of the Mind Stone that was a walking, talking person who ate Thanos in that one comic book? That shit's wild. Did I think it was going to happen? No. But am I going to talk like it's going to happen? Absolutely.
Yeah,
because that makes me happy.
Exactly.
That makes better podcast as well.
Yeah, sure. And it's like the Star Wars. It's like the Star Wars.
Go with it.
It's like the Star Wars movies, but minus the toxicity right now, and I love that because the Star Wars movies are like, yo, but what if, and then Star Wars does the thing in the movie, and people are like, you fucking ruined my childhood. And Marvel's in this really interesting and comfortable place where they can open up the ground for a bunch of theories and then go, but this is the story we're telling, and people are like, you know what? That fucking rocks. That's dope. I'm fine with that. It's fine one of the things.
I feel like that applies really well. The one thing I remember we talked about was that, Kevin, I know you were very much like, I don't want Vision to stay. I want Vision to die. And I knew immediately, right, that when they said, hey, we're doing a show called WandaVision, after we all watched Vision die, I said, okay, there are a few things that are going to happen because of this. One, they don't want to lose Paul Bettany. So
he's great.
He's fucking amazing. So 2, we're getting the Vision back. It was the whole point of WandaVision was to tell a great story and to bring Vision back. And on the one hand, it's like
White Vision isn't Vision gone or isn't Vision back even.
Exactly.
I feel really good about the future of Vision because homie's not going to be the same.
Exactly.
Because the Vision we get in this doesn't realize he fucking died twice in 5 minutes.
At the end of Endgame. It's like she's Gamora, but she does not have any of the same memories.
The movies have figured out the way the comics figured out how to reboot characters, and they did it in a far more subtle way, a far less subtle way. They just went, look, it's a new one. And that allows them to act like it's from the start. And is that perfect? Nah. But
no,
do I like it? Yeah.
But I think
Also,
the other thing is,
Paul Bettany being a little more unhinged, not unhinged so much as like less the guy that's
Less
just
human?
like an AI and then like immediately in love. And
Mhm.
now he's gonna go back to being an AI who like has to remember that he was in love but may not be that dude anymore.
right.
That's awesome. That's
I think
awesome.
I'm hoping that they bring him back in a way where he like doesn't know how to lie anymore, right? Like true to that.
Yeah, I
is it-
want the liar version of Viz.
Well, but like the one from what is it? The Tom,
You're welcome, Kev.
The Tom King run, is that the one where he's got the whole family? Is it?
Yeah, the Tom King, Gabriel Hernandez, Walter Vision series.
They make a huge point on the fact that Vision doesn't lie, and then very clearly, like Vision has a kind of like a facetious sense of humor in WandaVision. So I'm excited to see it. Maybe they'll bring that element into it. But like, it's the thing is, the other thing we talked about, Kevin, that I actually agree with. It would be so fucking cool if they were like, what? It would be so fucking cool if these characters died and then they only came back like 10 years later. The problem is they've been.
I know that actors have like lifespans, you know. So if you're gonna use Paul, now's the time. My counter would be, well, don't. Right. I mean, my counter would be, well, don't kill. Okay, because like none of my disappointment has to do with like fan theories not paying off. Because I think fan theories are fun as long as you don't get mad when they don't happen. You know, like that's
that we didn't get Nightmare or Cathan or
yeah. We could not
mention.
add another extraneous element that didn't need to be in this show to this show. That is the thing we didn't need. But like, I will say that between Infinity War and now, we have killed, and I'm not counting the snap. We have killed Vision, we have killed Gamora, we have killed Black Widow, we have killed Tony Stark, we have killed Vision again, and we have killed Wanda's kids. And only one of those people is not currently running around. Like, only
Two.
That is my issue.
Two.
That is like, it's a bad, what they're taking the bad lessons from bad comics, and that's the issue.
Black Widow's not back. This Black Widow movie is a prequel.
Okay, but like she dies and then we get a movie about her. Like it's they
Of course, because
setting up the new Black Widow, which is going
Setting
to be
up the new
Florence
Black
Pugh,
Widow.
which is going to be her sister.
Right. I think it's really smart of them to go back and do Black Widow for a few reasons. One, because we just ended this massive saga, and it's going to be a perfect tie-in to this new movement that they're moving forward with to kind of pull in a reference to this massive thing that they've pulled off. Additionally, before Feige was in charge of literally everything, I don't even remember the other guy's name.
Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah, a sexist little shithead who said nobody wants to see a superhero movie.
Oh yeah, that guy sucks. I'm not defending this guy.
So we didn't get a Black Widow movie when we 100% should have. So like, I'm mad that we're getting it, you know?
It's not any one element. It's that I just listed like 6 of them right in a row. That's my issue here. And that like, at least for these last 2 projects, WandaVision and Spider-Man Far From Home, it is impossible to enjoy them unless you are also like trying to solve Kevin Feige's big plan. And that's not what I'm interested in. And I'm not going to tell anybody that that's bad, because a lot of people seem to enjoy it, but it's making it so that I can't enjoy these pieces as much as I would like to. That's it.
I think, are you watching it as like the individual movie, or are you watching it as like this massive universe building?
Exactly. And I like to watch it. You know, I put out the pitch to do a show where we talk about episodes of old sitcoms, you know? I like to watch a piece of media and be able to analyze it within itself. And some, like, context on either side is good, but I like to be able to sit down and analyze something. And so it's like, it's impossible to feel satisfied with Monica Rambeau on this show unless you go, well, in 2 years she's going to be in this. It's impossible to feel satisfied with Agatha Harkness, because you're like, well, I kind of wanted them to do like the Wanda show, and this just feels like
it's just so hard to remove yourself from that lens, though. Personally, at least for me, like when I watch any of this stuff, I'm gonna be like the Monica sign off at the end was like just the thing that and this is a really interesting discussion that we probably should save for another time, but I'm going to go into it really quick. The intertextual nature of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? People within like movies and TV right now are obsessed with like trying to get this intertextual kind of thing, right? Disney's doing all these remakes of their old cartoons as live action, and they make references to the original, and these texts play off of each other. The thing that makes the MCU so awesome is that they're the ones that are nailing it. They're the ones that are getting it, and that's why when we see Evan Peters show up as a fake Pietro, it's such an awesome moment, even though it's literally a red herring. It's just an Easter egg, but it's because of the lens that we've been trained into for a literal decade, you know? And I think it's one of those things where it's like, you, to a certain extent, yes, it's two viewing styles. It's watch this by itself, but at the same time, in order to watch it by itself, I almost feel like for most viewers, maybe there's some, there's newer viewers who haven't watched a lot of the other stuff, and that's cool, but a lot of it is about like they've been brought up and stuff like that into context. That's an active removing of the lens that we've been trained into. You know what I mean? It's
right. These movies train you to watch them like Easter egg hunts, and I'm not even like necessarily saying that as a bad thing, but that's what they do, and that has slowly built from Coulson and Iron Man 1 working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and has gradually steamrolled into, we're gonna have Monica Rambeau on this show and she's not even gonna do anything. That is
you
where
think she didn't do anything in this one. Wait until you see Captain Marvel.
And I'm like, well, I'm not watching Captain Marvel 2 in 2022.
No,
I'm watching WandaVision.
I mean, Captain Marvel, the first...
yeah, just wait until you see Captain Marvel, where she's a baby. She's a soy bebe. So that's, and, the way I like to consume media, it's impossible right now. And I'm willing for, one of these to come along and surprise me. But I'm like, what I like about fucking Thor Ragnarok is that, Valkyrie, who is a similar sized part to Monica Rambeau on this show, and the runtimes of both of these, this movie and this show are pretty equivalent, that, what they did with Monica is if they had introduced Valkyrie, they had given her a stylish backstory, they had established her direct connection to the lead of the movie, and then she hadn't shown up the end to the fight and had been like, see ya in Thor 4. And I was like, ah! But that's okay if everyone else enjoyed it. I'm not mad. Everyone's fine. It's just, we consume media different ways. Yeah. And
it's funny to me that you're expecting the Marvel Universe to do something it hasn't ever done.
What, pay off character arcs that it's
No, it's real good at introducing.
No, it does that a lot.
It's real good at introducing characters that don't really mean anything for a couple of movies. Wanda and Vision are literally the definition of that. They didn't really have character arcs until they got their own show.
I would disagree.
Really accurate.
Wanda has
some closet shit.
Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, that was really it. I mean, Age of Ultron is ostensibly not about them. They're in it, and Quicksilver dies, and it's dumb. I don't think he should have died in that movie where he gets introduced.
Fuck you, Joss.
But I also didn't miss him because it wasn't a very good performance. So I was like, bye. Bye, buddy.
Here's the other thing, though, and this is actually a pretty neat little thing. Speedsters, dude. Speedsters are just so OP. It's insane. Seriously,
Speedster OP. Need nerf. Flash OP. That's why every season of The Flash, he fights another fast guy. Because you're like, what do you do against a fast guy?
And then one season they're like, fuck, okay, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna be like, there's this guy that, if you're near him, your dark matter doesn't work, so then people don't have their powers. Because if you're super fast and you can throw lightning, that's the Flash. But, when you're that fast, we're basically, if we're even, looking at, the way Fox represented them, where you can basically move so fast that time is stopped, which effectively means that you also can manipulate time, right? No one can stop you. Whenever I watch a fight scene with a speedster, this was actually one of my few complaints about WandaVision, although I could, if I wanted to, square it away, be like, well, he wasn't used to these powers, and, he got caught off guard. But anytime there's a fight scene with a speedster and a non-speedster, and somehow a non-speedster gets the jump on them, I'm like, that's bullshit. That would never happen.
How did this
Monica
happen?
When Monica Rambeau pulls the boner guy, who still has who still has speed at this point in time, and knocks him on the ground, I'm like, damn, what?
She's got super speed too, though.
Does she really?
Yeah, Spectrum / Photon, whatever they decide to call her, also has super speed.
I hope we go with Spectrum.
Yeah.
Just that's personal.
Spectrum.
Because you can't do her other name, which is Captain Marvel. You can't do that. So,
what did they call her mom? Her mom had
Photon.
a nickname, Photon. So then, I have a feeling she'd probably go by Photon.
Yeah, it would make sense that she would want to inherit her mom's name. It would also make sense that she wouldn't want to be in the shadow of her mom, whatever it is. But like that character is OP as fuck. Like she absorbs whatever energy she interacts with and can mimic it. So she's a speedster because she follows a bullet at the end of the season.
She can see and become different spectrums of light.
Watches
She
a bullet
can
go past
become
like this.
UV light.
Oh, she did do that, didn't she?
Yeah, because she absorbs kinetic energy and then becomes.
For some reason, when that happened, I immediately was like, yeah, of course, Tommy. Of course, Tommy. I was thinking of it like Tommy the Speedster is like, no, you're right. She does have. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Fuck my drive. But that's the whole thing. Like, literally, when you have a speedster and you're up against anybody who's not also a speedster, you can't do anything. So, like, on the one hand, do we love Quicksilver? Yes, absolutely. Would Quicksilver obliterate just about any conflict presented in most movies? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
except I think that, and we can talk about Community after this if we'd like, but I think that arguing that like a speedster's OP because no one's that fast is similar to the argument that like Superman can solve every problem because he's perfect. And the response to that about Superman from one of the writers was like, thinking that Superman's overpowered is assuming that punching things is the solution to every problem.
Exactly.
So,
You're
like,
writing Superman incorrectly.
Yeah,
You're not
so
doing
you can
Superman
make a speedster who's got weaknesses or who has a villain who you can't beat. It's about being creative with that. And like whether or not they were is absolutely a thing to talk about. Ultron could not have done anything to Quicksilver, but Thanos absolutely could have, especially with the gauntlet. And it would have been dope to see him try to speed around Thanos as Thanos slows time for him and makes him fucking fight in regular time. That would have been great. Or if he'd altered his reality where he thought he was moving fast and then like suddenly he was moving too fast and was running into things because he couldn't see. There's ways to make speedsters have issues.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
they
I'm
brought
just thinking back
Speedster
to-
in with
and then
a
of
giant
course-
robot instead of making Vision. Like Vision should have been the villain in Age of Ultron with Ultron. He should have woken up and been Ultron's buddy. That movie would have been better if it was Ultron versus his son,
But the moment where he wakes up and grabs the hammer is
it's
so fucking tasty.
It's so good.
It's so fucking tasty,
It's
y'all.
like, I don't know how I'll make you trust you, but we have to go. And there's the hammer, and you're
Everyone's
like,
just
that
like,
was
oh shit.
I know.
that movie is a kind of a glorious mess, but that moment of setup and payoff is so fucking crisp. Also, fuck Joss Whedon, but that moment is so fucking crisp that it's just like it's very, very good. Also, neither movie universe has done a good translation of comic Pietro because they have not made him the biggest dick in the universe. That's unfortunately they're missing that element of him, is that he needs to be the most arrogant fucking dick in the whole world.
I think-
because
But then how are you going to make him different than Johnny Storm?
Well, they don't.
because Johnny Storm is like a
Johnny Storm
cocky,
doesn't
like
exist.
smiley dick. Pietro is a bad dick. He's like a he's some bad dick. You know what I
Storm
mean?
is early career Chris Evans. Just period. Just a pretty boy who everyone fucking hates.
Chris did a
He's
good
not a
job.
bad
He
dude.
is like
Chris did a great job as.
He's not a
Chris did a
bad
good job.
person. You just look at him and go, "Oh, your dad bought
Fuck you,
bought
dude.
bought the yacht
Fuck
you're partying on, didn't he?" Like that kind of fuck you kid.
right. The premise of that character is he is like the cocky, young kid who suddenly develops like the heat powers of a god, and he turns into exactly what you would anticipate that person turning into in that scenario. And
Quicksilver's Martin Shkreli with superpower.
exactly. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But like even angrier Martin Shkreli. I love comic Quicksilver. He's the worst fucking person in the world. I love him.
Like, he's
They
literally
keep
the
trying
one
to
that
make him the
tells
Flash.
Wanda to
It's not
kill
good.
all the mutants.
That's
Like,
true.
It's his idea.
House of M is his fault.
Yeah, he's like, fucking
like-
do it, bro.
He's the
a
one who
terrible
did
leader.
it. He sucks. It rules how much this guy
It's
sucks.
so is it? I'm assuming it's that moment in Infinity War where Star-Lord fucks everything up, but all the time.
No, because Star-Lord
Star-Lord-
Because you can still understand why he did that.
Justifiably,
Star-Lord fucked that up because he's an 8-year-old boy.
Yes.
Star-Lord fucked that up because he has not matured past 8 years old, but he's in a big boy body. And the only person he's ever felt like an adult relationship with has died. And so, of course, he reacts how a fucking little 8-year-old baby boy would act. I'm not defending the man, but it feels like something
it
he
actually
would
worked.
do.
There's like a weird sense of that was one of those things where like it took me hearing other people say it for me to go, wait, yeah, what the fuck, dude? It's your
What the
fault.
fuck?
Dude, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
absolutely. Yeah. But Quicksilver would fuck it up because he thinks he can outrun Thanos. Like, that would be why he fucks it up. Is because he's like,
He'd be like,
I can
don't
outrun
need to
fucking
listen. I
anybody.
need to listen to you. I've got this. And they'd be like, no, asshole, stop.
No, listen, please, God. And then he would just get absolutely fucking wrecked. And our patient listeners have, of course, waited because this is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, a podcast where 52 minutes into an episode, we talk about the American television comedy Community, 1 or 2 episodes at a time. I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan, and I started the Greendale Fire of 03.
Amazing. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jace. I use they, them pronouns, and I just realized we haven't seen Professor Duncan in a long time.
And I'm the third host, the daddy host, the hostess with the mostest kids.
Every time, dude.
Every time.
And you haven't seen Duncan because booyah. He's been here the whole time.
Oh, shit.
Booyah. Yeah, excellent. We are, of course, also the premier podcast in the Yahoo Screen Podcasting Network.
Yeah.
I fucked up the order of that because I was in my X-Men feels. I had to pull myself out of
Dude,
it, or we could have done this
so
for an
passionate
hour.
about X-Men. It's my favorite thing.
I love them so much.
You love your X-Babies.
So horny
my
for
lord.
the X-Men.
I love the X-Men. I think they're cool.
Yeah, hold on. Me saying what I said and then you doing a kid voice makes what I said inherently problematic.
I thought that's what you did. I was reciprocating. I thought that's what I heard. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
This is why I'm
said a thing and you were like, I'm a horny baby. That's what
I'm a silly baby.
Y'all need to stop kink shaming each other.
doop 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 sex.
Sex.
Yeah. I also, Jace, I never wrapped it around, but I did have a very trans X-Men conversation to have with you. But unfortunately, we're out of time. So let's get
It's a
into...
fucking tease. A fucking
Yeah,
tease
well-
too.
We got 2 more fucking seasons of this show. It'll come up.
You talking about how every trans person's favorite X-Men is Mystique? That's correct.
Oh, we can... Okay. I'm sorry. We're doing this. The original pitch that never got to happen because it was Marvel in the 80s, but Chris Claremont was going to make it so that there's a all-seeing mutant called Destiny, right? And Mystique and she have been like basically canon gay lovers for 30 years and canon gay lovers for 2 years. And the pitch for, because Mystique is Nightcrawler's biological mother, the comics made it so that so the comics made it that Nightcrawler's father is a red devil man called Azazel, but the original pitch was that Mystique was going to transform into a male form, and she was going to be Nightcrawler's father. Anyway, I just had to let everyone...
I love that so much. Whoa.
I also love it so much. I hope that gets retconned someday.
Put it in the movies, baby. Cast a trans Mystique, and I will be living.
There is also a vocal fan community that believes my favorite X-Man, Emma Frost, to be trans, which is an outlook on that character I fully support.
Muted Kevin. I can't hear anything he's saying.
I don't know how I did that. I can't unmute
Oh,
Kevin.
well, I could hear what I'm saying.
Kevin, can you unmute yourself?
I can't
what the
hear
fuck
you.
did I do?
And it was on the worst possible time because it was right when he was about to say something really cool. I can tell.
I don't know how I did that.
There you go. It's unmuted. Say something.
Hello!
I'm so sorry how that happens.
The last thing I said was that there is a very vocal contingent of fan that believes my favorite X-Man, Emma Frost, to be trans, which is an outlook on that character I fully support. I love that interpretation of that character.
I think if you're gonna bring mutants into the MCU, it's the obvious place to put the queers.
Absolutely none of the X-Men are straight. Okay, now let's go to Community proper. Well, I'm sorry, the Mystique thing came up, and I had to talk about it. But let's go into the first Community episode of the episode. This is why I put time codes in every episode description. In case anyone is like, I would just want to hear you talk about puppets. Season 4,
Oh my god.
Episode 9, Intro to Felt Surrogacy. Directed by Tristram Shapiro. Written by Gene Hong. In this episode, the Dean gets everyone in the study group except for Pierce to engage in some puppet therapy, at which point we are treated to their mutual mind space, where we see a puppet adventure with the study group getting in a hot air balloon.
And it's technically a flashback, correct?
It's technically a flashback because they are reliving a quote-unquote traumatic episode that they had,
Right, but since
are
they're
too
puppets,
afraid
it
to talk
also
about
implies that this is happening currently, right?
No, this is them remembering it. We are seeing their mutual memory of events. But they are embodied in the flashback as puppets. And the events of this episode only make sense if they are puppets. Does that, this could not happen with live action study group. They had to be puppets to go on a musical hot air balloon adventure where they take drug berries from Seinfeld's Jason Alexander. For anyone that's interested in little trivia, Chevy Chase does not appear live action in this episode because this is, of course, after he said the N-word on set and never worked with an actor on Community again. You will notice for the rest of the season he is very absent. He is not around.
How did they get his voice?
He recorded in a booth, but he never worked with another actor. He did the puppet voiceover. He appears briefly in the series finale, but he is not in a scene with another actor.
And then
he is in
promptly killed his racist ass.
Yeah, and then he's a hologram in season 5 before he jerks himself to death.
I forgot about that. Or a treasure.
God bless it. And also Walton Goggins.
Did y'all see? Speaking of the that episode, did y'all see the reunion live stream they did on YouTube during
of course,
with Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, that's why I
cannot keep it straight.
Yeah, that's why I said Pedro
He's
Pascal is a godsend because I think if I remember the way he reacted is that he once overed the script but didn't get to the end of it because this was a kind of last minute thing. So he breezed those lines, but then saw them and was like, "What the fuck? How am I supposed to say this and keep a straight face?" And then each successive time that he did it, he got into his own head worse and worse and laughed more and more.
Exactly. It became that steamroll
thing. And then he
thing.
gets to the Abed one, and he's like, "Did you know I never understood you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Thermos and cum," basically. And he's just
Here's your sperm.
Here's your sperm. And he loses it again because it's so direct.
Mr. Nadir, do you know that nothing you said ever made sense to me? Yes, here's your sperm. Oh, that episode's gonna rank fucking
it's
high.
going up there. That's just some of the best writing of this show.
Or when he gives it to Jeff and he's like, "Here's a bottle of scotch, only so you're less tempted to drink this even finer bottle of sperm." It's so good.
Shit. Do you see how quickly we start talking about good Community episodes?
Anything but the puppet episode. Which is genuinely, anytime people are like, "What's the worst? When did Community die?" You know those videos? When did Community die? Everybody, without a doubt, they were like, puppets.
It is definitely the thing, as a nearly year-long resident of Community Twitter, it is oft cited as the worst episode of the show. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Ooh,
is it?
That one.
There's definitely, okay, we are at this point where we are grading on a curve, right? For season 4, where we're like, okay, herstory of dance, we're going to fight to get a little higher than normal because it is the apex of what this season is capable of. And I will say this, on the scale of season 4, on this bell curve we have crafted of season 4, this episode has puppets and songs, and it has Sarah Bareilles. And if we are grading on that curve, that is a big point in my direction.
Possibly. I think for me, like the thing that sent me the most, the thing that got me the most tight was they break to their memory, and the first one to start singing is Jeff, and I immediately was like, this would literally never fucking happen.
Well, they're all on drugs, so...
No, not at that part. Not at that point. It's literally, they're like, it's like they're hanging out, and then Jeff just starts singing, I think we should go on an adventure, and you're like, what is that?
Where do we go? We can go anywhere that you know.
It's bad. It's bad. Also, of the musical episodes in this series,
that was like 7 octaves. Go on.
Also.
Of the musical episodes in this show, this one has the worst music.
What are you considering the musical episodes of the show? Glee Christmas.
Abed's
Home
Christmas.
Economics, where Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, sure. The episode where Vaughn's band sings 2 songs, I assume.
I would consider those to be musical features, but not musical episodes. But
and not fully musical
canon.
episodes.
But seriously, though, of the musical moments, I should say, in this show, all of the songs in this one have the weakest lyrics.
Suck butt.
They're not good lyrics. Kevin, you sang during your intro the best lyric in the whole thing, which is Troy singing that he started the Greendale Fire of 03, which is amazing. And it's like, at that moment, we should have known that Donald Glover was about to have a skyrocketing musical career, but, you know.
Right, this is where he has, like, 1 album and a mixtape, and we're about to start just like, oh, he's going to, like, become one of the biggest figures in the music
He's like, did I
industry.
mention I sing as well as rap? And everyone was like,
Excuse
what?
me? I apparently feel much more positively about this episode than y'all do.
I don't know. I don't hate this episode at all. I think it's...
I don't hate it.
I think it's meh, but I don't hate it.
I get real protective over musicals, but that's just because that's my turn. And puppets. Yeah, that's true. These are 2 of my biggies. Like, these are 2 of my favorite, like, crafts. And I'm just like, damn, y'all. I do like the puppets. I think the puppets were crafted really well, and I think the performances are
very nice puppets.
Quite good. Here's the other thing, though, actually, and this acts as quite a buffer. The end tag on this episode is one of my fucking favorites. It's them as so puppets just doing. It's so fucking cute. It's just so delightful. Like this, I already know. I actually actively rank above the Puppy Parade.
I see. I also know. I also know that this episode can't be the worst to me because it's in the literal same season of Conventions of Space and Time.
Right.
And that episode is so fucking dumb.
This episode is in the same seasons as the premiere of season 4 and the finale of season 4. So
yeah,
by
it's
default,
also got History 101 in it. So yeah.
So by default, it's at worst the 4th worst. At the bottom, it is 4th worst.
No, I actually don't think it's the worst. I just don't think it's
dunks
good.
On itself constantly.
Oh shit.
It's like, you thought that was bad. Just get a load of this.
Let's get ready. Here we go.
Coming to a movie near you in the late 90s.
That's right.
Another parody film.
Sunday. We're just the worst.
This
right
one
now.
is called Puppet
Because
Movie.
none of us want to talk about it. We're all just like, please, anything but the puppets.
Okay. Then allow me to address some salient points that if we want to direct ourselves to this episode.
Let's do it.
We should be adults. Bring us to topic.
Yes. So I do like the puppet craft. I do think there's always something that's missing when the puppet performer is not doing the voice. If they are lip syncing to someone else, it's something that Jim Henson said about Frank Oz. For anyone who doesn't know, like, those are like two of the main architects of the Muppets franchise.
Okay, they're
Also,
literally
Get Learned.
Bert and Ernie. Look them up.
Yeah, they're literally Bert and Ernie. They are Kermit and Fozzie. They are
Yoda.
everyone. But,
And Miss Piggy and Gonzo.
Gonzo is Dave Goles. Thank you.
Yoda.
I'm so sorry.
Frank Oz is also Yoda.
Frank Oz is Yoda.
Frank
the
Oz
two of
is
them
also
together
Yoda.
make the Swedish Chef. That's literally
They are
Frank
one of
Oz's
the
bare hands. And then
They are one of the great comedic duos, puppet or no. And but something that Jim Henson said about Frank Oz, and I'm sure I'm paraphrasing and butchering this quote, but he's like, when Frank Oz plays Grover, he is a better actor than Peter O'Toole. The transformative nature of the puppet performer
that's real.
and how much they are embodying the physical aspect, the voice, how much they can articulate it's incredible how expressive Henson Company puppets are. Just like every time one of them just like turns to the camera and hangs their mouth open, it's somehow the most like joyous and expressive thing you've ever seen.
Oh, it's not to get too nerdy, but it's they especially over time, they nailed focus with an inanimate object. They kind of nailed the idea of taking the pupils of the eyes and bringing them in just ever so slightly so that it looks like they're actually looking at you. And it makes it so that when they open their mouth, you're like, holy shit, that's like a living, breathing thing. But no, that's super real. The second you do a voiceover afterward, it's like puppeteers are, like, when they're doing it, they're not just mouthing things with their hands. They're literally doing the full performance of the body. They're putting life into this inanimate object. And then when you go back into voice acting kind of moment, sometimes there's good performances, and I don't want to take away from the voice actors. I mean, if you look at Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, I mean, that cast is absolutely fucking stacked with the voice actors on that.
Sure. Or like my favorite special effect of all time, Audrey 2 in Frank Oz's Little Shop of Horrors. Like, the guy from the Four Tops is not inside Audrey 2, but it's still like a transformative puppet performance.
And that's one of those things where also, like, I mean, that's one of the circumstances where you couldn't possibly have that to work. That's just like not how that kind of puppet works. But when you have those smaller, whether it's a hand and rod puppet or maybe it's, like a shared, like, live hand puppet of some sort, there's something about that. Like, when you watch
I did not know that the Dark Crystal show had such an amazing fucking cast.
It is an insane lineup. Dude, you've got Mark Hamill, you've got
Gugu Mbatha Raw's in here, fucking Benedict Wong, Simon Pegg, Jason Isaacs. This is Anya Taylor-Joy. Fuck. Taron Egerton.
Insane. The entire cast is stars.
That's very good.
I'm thinking of oh my god, I can't.
Fucking Harvey Firestein.
That's what I was trying to think of. Harvey Firestein's in it. Dude, it's wild.
Lena Headey's in it. Toby Jones is in it. What the? Mark Strong.
Shit.
This is incredible.
They went a little too hard, almost.
No, they literally stacked every single role. They were like, look, the budget's already monstrous.
So why not?
Why not?
We got Simon Pegg money. Why not get Simon Pegg?
The thing is, though, when they talk about it, they didn't intend on it. They were like, we'll bring a couple people in, and then it just then more people showed interest, and then more people came in, and then at a certain point they were like, oh, I guess it's just all gonna be stars. Caleb,
yeah, if Jason Isaacs asks you to be on the show, you don't go, no, thank you. No.
Yes, please, sure. Well, what would you like to do?
Caleb, how familiar are you with The Dark Crystal?
I love the movie. I have not watched the show.
Okay, because the movie is one of my favorite movies, like, ever.
It's been a minute since I've watched it because I do remember having bad experiences with it as a young kid because it's kind of creepy at times.
Oh, it's not
kind of extremely creepy at times.
It's not really a kid movie, no. It's genuine. There's like death, there's monstrosity, there's like power structures, struggles. It's wild. I think it's worth watching the prequel series. I thoroughly enjoyed myself while watching it. I know Kevin and I talked about it in depth at one point a little while back because I'm a huge puppet nerd. There's a moment where they have because everybody in the show is a puppet. They have puppets putting on a puppet show in an episode.
Shatters my brain. Like how the puppet of Chang lifts up a little puppet Chang in this episode. That's actually a good moment. I really think that's fun. Moment,
especially because it's also one of those things where it's like, it's really exciting. I don't know what it is about it. You watch whenever you have live action Abed holding the puppet Abed, or live action any of them holding their puppet versions. They're not hiding their mouth movements. They're just talking and they're matching up the mouth. That's awesome. And then we go to this alternate reality where it's just the puppets, and we start to accept it as like, you start to buy into the fantasy, you suspend disbelief, just because that's what happens when you see puppets. We see faces and we identify them as alive. It's what we do as humans. It's, you know, it's just a thing psychologically.
Absolutely.
And then you see Chang pull up a sock puppet, and then the sock puppet opens its mouth, and the Chang puppet doesn't. And there's something about that makes my brain go, like, I have like, it's like a stroke. It is. I don't know what it is that throws me. There's something about, like, when you look at it, it's such a blatant, like, reference to the sound mixing of it and, like, the ADR of it all. And it just is such a bizarre moment. I can't. I don't even really know how to describe what it is. It's just fucking nuts.
That's okay. I think every actor is dialed in perfectly to how their character would behave with a puppet. I think that... Yeah. That Donald is always having, like, Troy and the puppet have, like, looks and conversations with each other, which is exactly what I do if you give me a puppet. I'm just, like, always, like, looking at the puppet and having little moments with it. That Abed is just casually having the puppet move its mouth every time he talks. That Shirley is kind of doing a little of that. Annie's sort of having, like, a more fun, like, dancey sort of atmosphere with it. That Jeff is not doing it at all. It's a real... Every actor is really calibrated to how their character would be reacting to these puppets.
I think my biggest qualm, honestly, like, genuinely my biggest qualm with this episode is actually the fact that they double dosed Dean's bits. I'm sorry, double dosed Dean just kind of made my little throat.
Double dosed Dean's nonsense.
Dean's Dean sense. Like, I also was trying to find the D. I couldn't find the D. Is it in?
Stop.
Joke. The hand in the
Is
puppet.
it?
So, but literally because they're like, he comes in with the puppets and he's got his puppet and he takes it very seriously. You know, he's very into his whole puppet thing. And then he takes off his outfit to reveal that he's also dressed up as Pinocchio, which I didn't.
It's a hat on a hat.
It's a hat on a hat. And the thing is, like, when there are a lot of times where I'm like, you didn't need an outfit, but that's the bit. But then this time where it's like, you didn't need an outfit, I was like, no, you really, really didn't need an outfit.
And I think the outfit thing is fine, but the outfit can't be the punchline. The outfit can be a facet of the character, but we are so far beyond him wearing a funny outfit being the joke. But so often in this season, the outfit is the joke.
Yeah.
And to have the outfit be a reveal instead of what he enters wearing, it's so strange. It's so strange. So, one more thing, and there's actually one last thing about this episode I really want to discuss. But I just want to shout out to Sarah Bareilles for not even trying to hide the fact that she's reading off of cue cards. I honestly respect it, how little she's trying to hide. Like, she's in a scene with puppets and is looking dead at her own eye level off camera. It's incredible. But the thing I want to talk about most are these secrets revealed, right? The idea behind this episode and how some of them feel like really good character moments and some of them feel like the wildest shit that kind of destroys some of these characters that, like, does a lot of character assassination in the middle of the
all
episode.
Of these secrets, because I remember.
So the one
Shirley's is the first one. She opens it up, and then that's why Jeff is like, everybody needs to do that. Shirley's secret is really appropriate. It checks out. I was like, that's a great character development. That makes sense with what she would do, who she is, who she has been, who she's growing to be. Yes,
and I feel like most parents have some story like that. Not quite to that comedic degree. But, I'm sorry, Caleb, you were about to say something.
I think Shirley's story is so fucking out of character.
Really?
Her kids are so important to her, and they want us to believe that she left them somewhere for hours?
Overnight in the grocery store. For some reason, the grocery store employees did not kick the kids out.
Yeah.
They're like, you can hang out here, have some Doritos.
It's just, I thought that was really weird because she's been so family-centered for so long. Like, she's not doing business things because of family. She's not worried about school sometimes because of family. Like, her kids are everything. And I get it. Like, this was an instance where she could have gotten at her husband, who was then, not acting as a husband at that moment. But, like, for her to just fucking forget her kids for hours? That's so weird. That's so not Shirley. Like, one of the things she does throughout this show is, like, I'd hate to lose because I don't have a newborn at home. Like, she does that all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where
I have
Troy
3
says
kids.
things like, to the point where Troy says, "Damn it, Shirley, forget about your kids." Like, she has to be made to forget about her.
Cameron, did you just reference the G.I. Joe episode very subtly?
Always.
Always.
Took me a second, but I was like, wait a minute, did he just...
I have 3 kids. It's so funny. That episode's very funny to me. Anyway, we're talking about, like, good genre episodes.
Yeah. For whatever reason, this story about Shirley seemed, like, out of left field to me.
That's
like,
fair.
How do we make her a character who, through this show, has shown that she's a good mom? How do we make her actually a bad mom?
I think
she's low as fuck to me. I hate it.
I don't even know if it necessarily... I think it's... Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, I actually agree very much. I think for me, the reason why I liked it initially was the idea of one of the few things she's actually genuinely insecure about is the fact that her husband left, And on the one hand, she's like, she's like a very forgiving person, but we've also seen consistently throughout this show, she's petty. She's
100%.
Sure.
And so to then get the idea of like, my husband's cheating on me again, she's like, I'm gonna get him, and to get blinded by that, and then the fact that she's so embarrassed by that, not because she chased a woman across the town, because that's not a part she's actually really embarrassed about. She was like, yeah, I fucking did that. She's embarrassed that she let that take her mind off of her kids, who are the most important thing in her life. So I saw that as like a really complex moment. But I when you say it like that, I do agree. You're right. It does kind of feel wrong to be like the woman who is. But I also, at the same time, simultaneously, because you hold conflicting ideas at the same time, I also think a little bit of the fact that they lean into how she's like, I love my kids so much is because they underdeveloped her character. Unfortunately, it's been my my big complaint about not Yvette Nicole Brown, but Shirley as a character. I don't think they wrote a fully fleshed out character for her. I think they were just like, she's the Christian black woman, and they just kind of let that exist.
Sure.
So I think they leaned it. It literally feels like I have 3 kids. It was like, okay, great. What do we know about Shirley? Just like, oh, she's got kids. So I didn't take it as her kids are the most important thing in the world to her. I viewed it as like that's just like a character detail that they played into. But of course, you're the only one that has children in this group, so your perspective on that is decidedly different, and it's really neat to hear you kind of say that, because I think it's a really good point.
Like, I think when I first encountered this show before my children, I was like, she left her kids at the store. But then like after watching this show several times since my initial, right, and now having 2 kids of my own, the like you have kids as like a trait for a person is both sometimes problematic and also literally how I talk about my life anytime I'm given a chance. Like, there's very few times I don't go to a coffee shop to hang out with a friend. I even did it tonight. And, like, the first 20 minutes is me complaining about having kids. And not complaining that I have them and I don't want them, but complaining that, like, last night my daughter woke up at 3:30, and when I went down to, like, settle her down and get her back to sleep, I saw in her eyes in a split second that she was awake. So I decided in that moment I'm going to sleep in the same bed as my kid so that she doesn't fuck around all night. And so I got like no sleep last night. And so I bitched about that for 30 minutes today because I had the opportunity. but also like I wouldn't trade sleeping next to my kid for anything, even if she's a little fucking toaster oven who is perfect height for her elbows and knees to hit me in vital organs.
Oh no.
My kidneys,
Oh, no.
my bladder, just everything got me.
Caleb, you gotta get one of your buttons to be the "Oh Lord, no."
Oh Lord, no! I will do that while we're talking. Don't worry, I'll have it by the end of the show. I will have it by the end of the show.
It's like
That's
I love how like we've kind of taken this moment that was like for all of us like the cringiest moment of like anything, and now we're just like, and we're running with it.
And now it's our thing. The other bit of character assassination in The Secrets is that Annie let Professor Cornwallis rub her feet for a better grade. Annie Edison would not do that. I know she's ashamed of it. Annie Edison wouldn't do that.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't do that.
There's a lot of things she would do.
Also,
But
don't
that
we
is not
then
what-
see Professor Cornwallis in the next episode give her a not so great grade?
Indeed. So what was the point? So a foot rub for nothing. So that is it. But
What were the
some
other-
of the like Britta not voting makes sense.
Yeah.
Pierce not actually having sex with Eartha Kitt makes sense.
Clearly makes sense.
Troy burning 50 acres of land seems like it should be a bigger deal.
That's so funny. I think that's so funny. He's like, just Troy doing something and then being like, I've got to play it cool, like the thing's happening, and then it gets out of hand, and then it gets even more out of hand, and it gets even more out of hand, and he just like keeps it in, and he's like, nobody needs to know about this. Like
It's the end of the darkest timeline, but 50 acres. It's the fire at the end of the darkest timeline, but 50 acres. But the one I like a lot is the Jeff confession, which is kind of brushed over and should have been an episode of Community. Is that he was dating a single mother
Yes.
who was like perfect for him, and he promised he would go to the kids' baseball game and didn't go, thus realizing he has become his own father. Should be a fucking episode of Community and not this tossed off lie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could have been the tear jerkiest episode of the entire show. That's such a perfect Jeff plotline that
What
I am
thought the second you
honestly
said
like.
that, I was like, I'm actually really glad that they didn't do that, especially in this season, because the only way that I would want to see that pulled off is somehow simultaneously, fortunately and unfortunately, if Dan Harmon had his fingerprint on it, like that.
Sure.
I think you're right though. That is such an amazing development for him. They really leaned into like his daddy issues this season. They used it as like a throwaway joke, and they were like, "We're not gonna ever really get into it." And then season 4, they were like, "No, let's get into it."
It's his defining character trait. Right. It's
Right.
it's a thing, and I have mixed feelings about it. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not.
Agreed.
But this is the Jeff's dad season in many ways, and I like that. I wish I had been able to see that episode of Community. Is all I will
For sure.
be able to say. Maybe
That's
not
a
from these people.
ridiculous fan theory, Kevin. That episode would have never been made. If that happened,
all
I
I'm
will
s-
go to the bodega around the corner, get some crow, and I will eat it.
Jeff Winger is Mephisto. Chang is just an actor playing Chang. I liked that reveal better in Iron Man 3.
I did actually like the moment when Chang is leaving the room, and then the puppet turns on and goes, "He's not who he seems."
Good bit. Ken Jeong. Love him. Love the guy. Anyway, that's I think all we have to say about the puppet episode. But it's been an enlightening time. Season 4, episode 10, Intro to Knots, directed again by Tristram Shapiro, written by Andy Bobrow. Jeff throws a study group Christmas party and invited Professor Cornwallis because somehow on a paper that 7 people wrote, one of them dropped... I know that Greendale is a ridiculous school. 7 people collaborated on a term paper for one grade.
From
Anyway,
the teacher that makes fun of how the classes don't.
how Greendale is.
Yeah, he would not have done that.
That's preposterous. Anyway, they invite Professor Cornwallis over, and it all becomes an homage to the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rope, which is a weird
it's a
pull.
reference episode. I actually didn't even know that until I was
Right now.
8 years old.
James was today years old. There it is.
I was today years old when I learned. Yes, it is a reference to. It's not one of the more popular Hitchcock movies, but its big conceit is that it is supposed to give you the illusion that it's done in one take. If you know what you're looking for, there are many cuts. But for them trying to pull that off in like the 50s is remarkable. Like no one was doing that
Birdman.
in the 50s. Yeah, Birdman. Also, they did it better than Birdman. Like Birdman did it really bad. But anyway, yes, it's all about this like tight enclosed space. That's why this episode has. They obviously can't do it for the entire episode because they don't have the budget to like rehearse that and actually pull off one take. But there are a lot of longer takes in this episode. Like the episode opens with like. Jeff is there, Annie comes in, starts decorating, the rest of the study group enters, and that is all the same shot. Yeah, that's all the same shot.
I also, at the same time, though, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that moment, because he goes, I'm not going to play house with you, and then immediately starts playing house with her.
It's a weird thing. It's a whole thing.
I was like, hello?
Yeah. Let's see. Pierce is also not in this episode for the aforementioned reasons. So at the last minute they subbed it. Oh goodness, a Moscow Mule burp is it's a heck of an experience. But they sub in Chang here at the last. Yeah, kids, don't drink and pod.
Did you say don't drink in pot?
Pod.
Like
Pod.
Don't
Like a
drink
podcast?
in pot.
And I they sub in Kevin at the last minute, and I actually think it's pretty effective. This is one of the better uses of Chang in this season.
Yep.
IMHO. Even though we know he's faking it at this point, so like, why are we doing this? Anyway, but
well, then they play into it a little bit. I think, right, is it the bumper where they kind of...
It's like the end of the episode and not the bumper proper, because the bumper proper is two bumpers. It is a gift exchange that becomes a Darkest Timeline segment, where even Abed knows that the Jeff and Annie thing is creepy. Abed is keenly aware, because Darkest Timeline Jeff says, I wish you were even younger, which is very upsetting.
Oh, it's so... Caleb's face right now.
It's just
beyond fucked up. This
I-
episode is somewhat effective. I admire what it's going for, even if it doesn't fully pull off the thing. I also love hostage episodes of television shows. That is, I've seen it 1,000 times, and I love it every fucking time. The great episode of Breaking Bad Season 1, and several other episodes of Breaking Bad. But the main one I'm thinking of is,
with the
what's that
plate
guy?
and
Crazy 8 Ball? The plate. The fucking plate. But I always love the prisoner. Like, again, you've seen it 40,000 times, and every time I'm like, yes, the prisoner is the one actually doing the examining. Yes. Silence of the Lambs, Avengers 1, Skyfall, that episode of Breaking Bad, those 3 episodes of Lost, Loki, like everyone does their little scene with Loki in the cage. Yeah, exactly. Again, fuck Joss Whedon, but
that scene's very good.
But the scenes are very good. And that's just a trope that fucking works for me. I'm such a mark for it. Like I can't get over it's always good. And I like that. I love Malcolm McDowell. Who doesn't? It's fine. We know immediately that Jeff is the one that fucked up the paper. It's also really fucked up how Annie keeps skipping over Shirley. I know it's like a joke, but it's like, boy, Annie is really doing some fucking Shirley erasure in this episode. Kind of messed up. kind of a second episode in a row that makes me very negative about Annie Edison.
Also, it feels like the writers, in a little bit of a sense, were like, you know what would be funny if Shirley was the smart one? and that makes me feel bad. And when I say makes me feel bad, I mean it makes me feel not good. You know,
It makes me feel very not good.
I wasn't sure what you meant when you said it makes me feel bad.
No, it makes me feel not good. I that's why I realized that.
Oh, bad
I
means
feel
not
bad,
good.
I mean not good. Sorry,
It was like, it makes me feel bad. I was
Okay,
like, that
okay.
makes me sad. And I was like, let me clarify. That makes me feel a whole lot of ick.
Right. If
Yeah.
you know, if Troy is the smart one, it's funny. If Britta is the smart one, it's funny. If Shirley is the smart one and that's the joke, it's like, whoa. Whoa.
What are you trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
What's
literally
going
like the
on
character
here?
has never been not smart, right? She literally,
Shirley's never been dumb. Like, that's never been an aspect of her character.
right, and so for them to be like, wouldn't it be funny if she was dumb? It's like, no, it wouldn't. Why are you making the black woman? Why is it funny that the black woman is smart? I just don't get it.
I don't like it.
We saw her open a sandwich shop.
She's a business owner.
She's a business
The backbone of this country.
Well, businessman, businessman.
Businessman.
Oh yeah?
That's from?
What the fuck was that?
Oh, it's from Parks and Rec.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I wasn't gonna say it.
Ah.
I was gonna make y'all guess it, but you got it pretty quick.
I was doing a Parks and Rec rewatch, and then they dropped the Muppet Show on Disney Plus, and I was like, "That's what I'm watching
You're doing
now."
a Parks and Rec rewatch.
I haven't watched hardly any of it since the series finale in 2015. Not because I like hated it. I was just like, all right, I'm kind of done with the show for a while.
Dude, I literally just was like, I want to do a Parks and Rec rewatch. I don't know what it was. I was like, this is the kind of comedy I want back in my life right now. And then I realized that I need Peacock to watch it.
Yes,
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons are free on Peacock.
No, but
Freecock.
season 1's not
But,
a good season.
Yeah, and then all the other seasons you have to pay for Peacock.
Yeah.
Pay the cock.
Pay the cat. Pay the cat.
Pay the cock.
I don't like
But
that.
yes,
You wanna
but when I saw that
don't like
original,
that.
when I saw that original Muppet Show was on Disney Plus, I was so hype.
Game over. That's what we're watching every like Saturday and Sunday with breakfast. Is we watch like
Yes.
3 Muppet shows.
Absolutely.
Perfect way to start the day. Perfect way to start the day.
That's so cute. I love that. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I get to feel validated for recognizing 70s
Yeah,
celebrities.
it's like good for you because when I'm watching it, I'm literally going, "Who the fuck is that?" Joel Grey comes on. I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know Jim Neighbors?
What the?
You don't know Rita Moreno or Sandy Duncan?
Rita Moreno, I
Come
know
on.
vaguely, but no, vast majority of them, I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Which brings me, quick question: when did the Muppet Show stop airing? Because I'm having
81, 82?
okay, cool. Because they totally did have, oh my god, what's his School's Out Forever.
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper
Alice
was
Cooper.
on an episode, right?
Yep.
And I remember watching that being like, why does this feel like this was done in like the 90s or the 2000s? But I guess that was like early 80s because, yeah, it's Alice Cooper. Wow. Yeah.
It's Alice Cooper.
To watch the way that the aesthetics shift over the course of this show, we love puppets. Wrong.
Yeah,
wrong
Muppet
episode
Show.
to talk
Go watch
about
it.
Muppet Show, but you know.
What? I know you have Disney Plus. Go watch it.
Yeah, I know.
I know you do. Whoever
You got it.
are.
You got your Disney Plus from my partner.
Kev turned into
Exactly.
Stan Lee.
I know you have Disney Plus, true
Excelsior.
believers. Excelsior. Stanley, you absolute piece of shit. This episode of Community.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like, you know, he's a beloved cultural icon and all that. He's also a bona fide piece of shit.
He's a
R.I.P.
profiteer.
Bona fide.
A person
Rest in
who
peace.
who every collaborator he ever worked with, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, he was walking with them down the New York street and threw them under a city bus. Stanley, everybody. Sorry, everyone.
Round of applause.
Gotta grind that
Round of
axe a
applause
little
for the
bit.
guy that was like, I made Spider-Man.
I made Spider-Man, me alone. No,
I'm
artist
the only
too.
one.
Steve
The
Ditko.
entire
what?
comic book was me. Words, inks, colors, illustrations.
It's amazing that, like, no matter what the superhero is, when you read the Stan Lee section, you're like, wow, this is the worst section of this comic.
Stan
This
Lee's
is
like
the worst.
Stan Lee's like Bill Gates. He hires people who are good at
Yeah.
shit he's not good at. and then
Yeah.
says it's him.
Yeah, he comes up. He comes up with a good idea, and he says, "Now you do it." He's Steve Jobs being like, "What if we did this?" And everybody else has to figure out how to make it work.
How to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
But much like
That's what-
Steve Jobs, he found a visual branding for himself.
Yes.
And thus became an international celebrity, an instantly recognizable icon. While again, being responsible for crashing so many buses by throwing his artist directly underneath it. Anyway, this
It'll
episode
be another
of Community's
bus
fine.
crash.
There will be another bus crash. I wish I was watching that.
What is that? I don't know that reference.
That's when Mr. Rad exposes that he's the one that killed the last Glee Club. I'm not
So we can either do
saying
the
I
show-
killed the last Glee Club. I'm just saying that maybe they cut the brakes and hey, look, Sons of Leon, and then runs off.
Oh, beautiful.
That's Terry, right?
Kings of Leon. I'm
Which-
an idiot. Go on.
No,
Kings of Leon.
the guy, the actor.
Taron Killam.
Taron Killam.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Married
I
to
love.
Kobe Smulders.
Yeah, Mr. Kobe Smulders.
Yes.
And
Oh, that
Who does
was
not work enough? Who does not work as much as I believe that she should. She should have more
I
going on.
believe that she should. She's been in them dang Marvel movies, and they have not once given her anything to do. And also, she was on the television adaptation of the comic Stumptown, which was a good little comic and a good little show. I enjoyed it. Jake Johnson went off of New Girl to Stumptown. It was a good little show. I think it's over, but I enjoyed it.
It's over.
But, hey, when a show ends, you miss it, but you're also like, hey, I can catch up. I can watch this whole show. It's not 800 episodes. It's 20 episodes.
Right.
Stumptown. Check it out.
Yeah, one
It's too
season,
late.
2019. Kobe Smulders. Yeah.
There you go. Bada bing. Yeah, good show. She plays like basically a Jessica Jones detective, but no superpowers. So I guess just a detective. I guess just like...
So she's just a detective.
she's just a regular detective.
I
This is
think
what
also
happens
the
when you're
Interesting.
us. This is what happens when you're us. You stop
A
being
detective
able-
with no superpowers.
Yeah.
Weird.
You stop being able
Strange.
to describe things as anything
Huh.
but superhero adjacent.
I mean,
Yeah.
also whenever
He was like-
whenever I think of her, the first thing that comes to mind, take this however you will, is Robin Scherbatsky in How
How I Met Your Mother. Of
It's
course,
like
of course.
that is my first true introduction to this character, and I was like,
Yeah, the best.
It's still
the
her
best
defining.
storyline- The best storyline for that show that they only went to after head faking us for 8 seasons. Yeah, that one.
right.
Right.
Remember that when they
Uh,
were like, it's not Robin, it's someone else, and she's gonna die off screen. And actually, it was Robin all along. Like, fuck off, show.
Yeah, since
actually
I'm,
enjoyed the thing. I know.
Yeah, okay. Jace, thank you, because I was about to throw that Molotov cocktail. Okay, it is, I will say this, it is a terrible ending for the television show How I Met Your Mother. However, as a short film about adult friends in New York growing apart because life takes us in all these unexpected directions and often leads us back to each other in the end, good
sure.
short film about that concept.
will
Bad
100%
ending for the show How I,
I
Met
don't
Your
think
Mother.
it's a bad ending for the show either. I think if they didn't do it that way, the show wouldn't have made sense. There's no reason why he would have sat down with his kids to tell them about all these stories. Like, when they wrapped it up, I was like, of course the mom's already dead. And people apparently saw that the mom was dead seasons ahead of time. They predicted it. And then,
Sure, but I've been with my wife for 14 years in a couple of weeks. And when I tell my kids about how we met, I'm going to tell them hours of stories because that relationship was back and forth and up and down and sideways and all sorts of ways until we had the kids, which he could have told that story all out throughout the show and then it been Robin. And that would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. Because that's how people tell stories. The more you remember something, the more fantastical it gets.
But I think I liked how the ending gave us a why he was telling these stories. You know?
Yeah,
It was
why was if we just made this about Robin, then it would feel weird. So let's make it about somebody else for a season.
basically I'm telling you all these stories to know how important Robin is to me and how this led to me meeting your mom because I'm asking your permission to get together with Robin, to the kids that have lost their mom. Like there was something about the way that wrapped up. I like. This is not what this podcast is about.
No, it's not.
I do not endorse this show in any sense. I think it is got some really toxic shit in it. Did I love it?
I like
watched
Intro
it?
to Knots, just to get back to.
Of course.
I like
not.
I enjoy this episode because
Oh my god.
one, I like that it's basically a bottle episode, but two, I like Malcolm McDowell, and like when he's hamming it up, and it's fun. I enjoy it, even if it's campy, and stupid. I love it.
I really
just
don't
let King Malcolm
like
go.
though.
Yeah, he's great.
No, the end tag is rancid, and we are gonna rank it here soon.
I just the one like literally Darkest Timeline stuff should have started and ended in the Darkest Timeline episode. They should have never brought it back up. But I think
don't
I'm
mind
also
it as
mostly tainted because I think about it in terms of like the paintball episode that comes later. Wait, didn't they bring it up at the end of last season too, though? Because I actually
I don't
one
mind
I
it
was
as
okay
a
with
season 3 through line, as like when Abed has a break psychologically, and the quote unquote Darkest Timeline Abed kind of takes over his form. I like that as a resolution.
Forward from that point, and they just kind of left it in season 3. I would have been totally fine with that.
Yes, it should have, much like the air conditioner repair school, it should have stayed in season 3.
Leave it alone.
Inspector Spacetime should have stayed in season 3.
It's Kevin saying that the Vision should have stayed dead.
Exactly. We just had a nice finale for it. Would be a shame if we ruined that by making the Darkest Timeline just flying around out there. No matter how much I like that Dark Ship of Theseus conversation. Let's rank some episodes and end tags, shall we?
Let's
do it.
All right. So first on the docket is a puppet sing-along, Puppet Daybreak.
I put this above the
because you said Puppy Parade, our current number 31.
What are these?
It reminds me. I'm struggling though because there's Slut and Bert and Ernie, and those are two of also some of my favorites. I think I immediately go to Puppy Parade because it's a similar one where it's like this is a feel good end tag, and it's not really like funny, but we still love it. And for me, this one just kind of ticks a lot of my boxes personally. Like it's a cappella, it's puppets, it's musical theater, it's a running gag that they managed to pull off in an effective way. But I think also when it's because I'm comparing it to the rest of the episode, this is like the standout moment of that entire episode.
Sure.
So maybe
I think we're in the right zone, though. I really enjoy this.
Maybe under Slut. Bert and Ernie. I knew I had something today.
Poor Dimitri.
Bert and Ernie.
Poor Dimitri.
Voicemail. Hey, how you living?
How you living is one of my fucking. I love it so much. What are these end tags? Remind me, because my life is a blur.
This end tag is the puppets sing Daybreak. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They go.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
Vending machine is in this zone. Dinner with LeVar Burton is in this zone.
Down to
spaceships.
Find a baby.
That's what they do. You can't tell me that's not what they do. Because that's what they
do.
No, it's. I'm gonna put it. For me, I wanted it higher, but no, I'm gonna put it below Rotating Bookcase and above the Potato Chip review. I know y'all like the Leonard's reviews. The Leonard's reviews for me, they don't really. They don't do too much for me.
I think he's cute though.
No,
Have
he's
you
cute,
considered that
but I think
he's a cute old man?
He's cuter.
He's a cute old man doing a YouTube show. That's all I ask for.
I eat two potato chips, I put the bag back, and I say, good job, buy these chips. Put it on the YouTube.
Put it on the YouTubes. Yeah, I can agree with the new number 43. Daddy Host?
Yeah, that works.
All right, Puppet Daybreak. The next end tag is Gift Exchange / Darkest Timeline. It's a weird sort of doubleheader nesting doll end tag. Let's scroll on down.
I literally don't remember what happens in this, genuinely.
The dean comes over and gives the study group gifts, and then Abed has a Darkest Timeline fantasy set in a courtroom because this end tag happens, and you're like, uh-oh, are they going to do something with this? Uh-oh.
Wait, but why does Abed go to a darkest timeline moment?
That's an excellent question. No one can explain. Scholars will debate.
He just
why
starts
he does
thinking,
what
like he just realizes there's a darkest timeline thing happening.
He just goes like, Christmas, darkest timeline. Wonder what's going on in the darkest timeline. I'm doing a Die Hard thing
Gotcha.
this episode.
And then what happens in the darkest timeline? There's a court case?
It's in a courtroom, and Jeff is a lawyer, and he acquits Annie Edison, who is wearing the Hannibal Lecter mask thing, and then they kiss. You're caught up.
It's not great.
Yeah,
I've surmised it
that's
for
a
you.
big old stinker.
That's gonna be a no from me, dog. Down here, number 70, Chang as Patton. I will say this: it is an homage to the movie Patton, which I always appreciate. So it's underneath number 70. we're in the
Chang
bottom
is
section.
Patton. What?
Yeah,
He
he's
addresses
standing
the
on
Chang
stage,
glorious
giant
bastards.
flag behind him, and it's reminiscent of General Patton from the film Patton.
Patton.
I don't remember this reference, but I'm gonna.
It's reminiscent of
It's,
Patton from the film
it's-
of the same
it's-
name.
Is this right after the birthday party?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
end of the
after he's
Howie
recruited
Schwartz
his
episode.
child security force.
Oh yes.
And he
Okay.
delivers
The
a speech
Changlorious
from an
bastard.
Yeah, this
all
is
too
slow.
nationalistic stage. Yeah.
Screens, man, screens. Keep it going lower.
Keep it
That
going.
one's a pretty big stinker. Crumping
Pierce?
is this low?
Crumping is not funny.
Yeah,
Hot
Kev,
take.
Kev has a beef with people enjoying themselves. So let's just move
Yeah,
past
I
that.
hate joy and fun. Obviously, of
A
course.
regular Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it just doesn't make me laugh. I don't know what to tell you. They just do a dance, and then Jeff does a dance. That's it. End of Ente.
Yeah. Crossword. Boof. And then
Boof.
this traitor audition. Oh Lord, no. Okay, I'm gonna put this just above. Oh Lord, no. For me.
I'm gonna put
Number
this just below Inspectors. No, just below. Oh Lord, no.
I was like below
Oh.
Inspector Space Time.
No, sorry.
new?
That was I
My
misspoke.
God, bro, that is
I'm
not a
unhinged,
thought.
but I'm not altogether crazy.
Gift Exchange, Darkest Timeline. I can't fight it, folks. New number 78. Gift Exchange / Darkest Timeline.
I'm only partially Joker-fied. Only not.
Yes, I am Joker now. These episodes have made me Joker.
Wait, hold on.
We
I
live in
can't
a
be Joker until
society.
I grab white robes and a crown of thorns.
Oh,
Ew, why did you,
please God kill me.
Caleb?
Lord smite me now.
Caleb, I was like just starting to get a little bit excited about it, and then you had to go and remind me that it is what it is.
Welcome to my brain.
Yeah,
A place where I'm constantly reminded that Jared Leto doesn't know what the fuck the Joker is. neither does Zack Snyder. It's fine.
Yeah, also, Jared Leto, bad actor. Why is he in movies?
Also, Jared
Um,
Leto, bad person. Why is he?
Why is he?
Hey,
Why
Jared
is he?
Leto was okay in Blade Runner 2049 because he could basically play his own douchey self.
Sure, but I could think of, like, my problem with Jared Leto, besides being a bad person, is that I can always think of, like, 9 people who could do the role he's doing better in the style of performance he's doing it. I'm just always like, oh, God, I wish this were fucking anyone else. Okay, episode rankings, shall we? The puppet episode. Now's the fucking time.
Which one is History 101?
That's the season 4 premiere. This episode's fucking better than that.
What happens in history? Oh, with the
The Hunger
Yeah,
Deans,
the
you
Dean-
fool.
the Dinger Games, the Hunger Deans, alternative history,
Hunger
German invasion,
Deans.
advanced documentary filmmaking. Which
We're
one?
climbing, we're climbing.
Which one's documentary filmmaking?
That's the Changnesia documentary.
Who?
We're going. Let's
Conventions of
see.
Space and Time. You're saying,
Inspector Spacetime Convention.
and then
Keep
basic
going.
genealogy.
Family Day.
And which one's Spanish 101? I think this one's worse than Spanish 101 for me.
I think so.
I mean, yeah.
I'd rather
I
watch
think-
Genealogy than this one because at least in Genealogy, Britta fetches a switch because she doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Yep. That's a point. I'm on the same page.
Okay,
So it's
y'all are
just
saying
barely better than Conventions of Space and Time.
Boy, okay. I was gonna give it a little much, but I am solidly outvoted here. What the fuck number in this season is it? How much? Episode 9.
Wait,
Intro to
because my whatever.
Felt Surrogacy. All right, next intro to Knots.
so we can go
Christmas
up
episode.
a bit.
I would
It's not
put
bad.
Intro to Nuts at contemporary impressionists ish.
I think we're in the right zone, but that Contemporary Impressionist has French Stewart playing a French Stewart impersonator.
It's not-
I would like to
put it above economics and marine biology, but below contemporary impressionists,
Which
and
one?
I'm fine.
Which one is
Marine,
economics?
marine
and
biology is the whale, them trying to land the rich kid.
We did it last week. PEE, Physical Education, Education.
Yeah, I agree with that placement.
Okay, new number 62. As for E.
Malcolm McDowell just
10.
has that staying power. You know
He's
what I'm saying?
literally
I love
what makes
Malcolm.
the episode for sure. Oh my god, there's
Oh,
the moment
100%.
where he's like, I see you guys are venturing into tapas, and then he eats one and just throws it at Annie. He just throws the toothpick back on her plate, and she's like, the fuck?
The fuck? Yeah, you're venturing into tapas. I thought this is a fine scotch, Mr. Winger. Don't you people mix it with cherry pop. I love.
Yo, just so
Love
y'all
fucking
know,
Malcolm
I
McDowell.
didn't know if you knew this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The great Sir, I don't know if he's a Sir, but Malcolm John Taylor, who goes by Malcolm McDowell,
Oh my god.
has fucking 12 projects in production right now.
My man
Wow.
books.
Busy. I don't know.
My man
Wow.
books.
One's completed. Let me correct that. One's completed. 3 are post-pro. One's filming. 4 are pre-pro, and 3 are announced.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if more than one was filming.
This isn't one of those progressive schools where the more creative parents put on musical skits. This is public school. If I keep the girls off the pole and the boys off the pipe, I get a bonus. Oh, I love Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, and
Great
the
fucking
one
guy.
he's filming is a voiced animated series based on the video game Ark, which has the
Survival
most ridiculous,
Evolved?
which has the most ridiculous cast I've ever seen. Gerard Butler, David Tennant, Michelle Yeoh, Jeffrey Wright, Carl Urban, Alan Tudyk, Elliot Page, Malcolm McDowell, Russell Crowe, and Vin Diesel.
What is this video game Ark?
It's a survival game.
It's an open world dinosaur survival game, but it's not as cool as that sounds.
It's not.
And they're
I would
making
guarantee.
an animated movie based on it? And those are all the
Yeah.
voice actors you just listed?
Yeah.
That's a pretty stacked
I-
cast.
I
This
will
is
place
thick.
money down right now, physical American U.S. dollars, that movie will not be as enjoyable as the episode of Monster Factory where they play Ark Survival Evolved and create Dino Lansbury.
Dino
a
Lansbury.
detective.
You say Monster Factory?
Oh my
It is,
god, Chase is not
it is
encountered
a-
Monster Factory.
Chase. It is a YouTube series where 2 of the comedy McElroy brothers play video games with character creators and create the most hideous creations they can possibly devise and develop whole little characters for them and play video games as them. It's my favorite thing on youtube.com.
Let me tell you just some of the names of the monsters from Monster Factory, and you will know
I mean, I'm seeing a
that you
few
have to
little
watch
pictures.
in Skyrim, they make a character named Garfield, and it's an acronym. And Garfield is an acronym for. Did they ever clarify what it was for?
No, he's just
Wait, the
Cyber
McElroys
Garfield.
from
and it's
From
my
my brother,
and me,
Yeah.
and
The Adventure Zone.
The Adventure Zone.
wow, I still need to do Adventure Zone.
I'm re-listening to the
Chop.
original. I'm re-listening to the original arc. It's incredible.
I'm just so bad at listening to podcasts, which is ironic
In
as hell.
Fallout 4, they made a character named D-Bomb. In Mass Effect 2, they made Commander Truck Shepard. In Ark, they made Dino Lansbury. In Second Life, they made the boy mayor of Second Life. In Fallout 4, they made the final Pam, which is
The final
Yes.
Pam.
in
I'm gonna look
they
this
made
up
someone named
tonight. I'm
the
very excited.
Junker.
Please.
Knife Dad. Shaquille
Knife
Dave,
Dad.
Turbo Vicky.
Yeah. Oh my God. Monster Factory is the best.
Top
My my favorites are the Final Pam from Fallout 4 and Daz, the character they create in Tiger Woods Golf. Anyway, phenomenal. Now we're in the plugs section of this show. Go watch Monster Factory, everyone. I will say that I am on the most recent episode of the podcast Apartment 303, another community podcast, where they are doing a March Madness bracket for community episodes. And I got to help them crown the best episode of season 3. You might be able to guess what that episode ends up being, but it's a fun ride to get there. And I go hard on Subway, hard on the subway train. Ride it with me, choo choo. That's all I gotta say. That is my time.
Wow. I don't have anything this week. I'm just gonna, let out another gentle reminder to, be kind to yourselves. We're hitting the 1-year anniversary of being stuck in our homes, and just respect that. And I wish you many discoveries of things that bring you joy over this month. And I don't know. That's deep up deep boop. If you're trans, I love you. If you're cis, I love you too. But if you're trans, I love you.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I don't have much. I've got a podcast coming up on Thursday about Mortal Kombat in all of its many permutations, both film, video game, show, book, whatever the fuck it's been. And then I've also got an interview coming up with the owner of the Hades Tigers Blaseball Twitter account to talk about the return of Blaseball from its long hiatus and how wacky and wild that awesome game is. What have I done to you?
What is
fuck is going on?
Blaseball?
Yeah, that was for anyone that is not familiar, that is a series of nonsense sounds.
Yeah, I just made a bunch of.
I was snort laughing.
So last summer, a company called The Game Band made a baseball sim that's not like a playable like MLB The Show baseball sim, but like a watch along as the game does like play-by-play tracking sim that's web-based that incorporates such wild and bananas ideas as gods and umpires who incinerate players and raining peanuts and blood rain.
What is this called? This is a game?
It's called Baseball, but there's an L after the first B, so Blaseball. And you go to blaseball.com, and it's wild. There's a book that's the book, and it's full of redacted laws and rules, and all the authors' names are redacted, and like, it's just this wild meta. It's if Abed were to make a game about a sport he didn't care about, but knew a lot about, he would make Blaseball. It's wild and
online
amazing.
Browser baseball simulation horror game.
Yes,
Literally,
it's incredible.
What the fuck?
It's incredible. And so my team
so
of
much
choice,
with you two.
my team of choice and my good friend is the Hades Tigers, who are from the Sixth Circle of Hell. And he started the Twitter account last year as this was growing to be a thing and had thousands of followers within a couple weeks and has been running it ever since. And it's wild and cool, and I have a deep love for baseball. And watching somebody take baseball and shove it up its own ass is incredible. So we're going to talk about that. So if you want to hear that, stay tuned because that's also coming up.
You got to let me know how to get into Blaseball because I've been curious but found it very obtuse.
I will I will ask that specific process in questions in this interview so that I can tell you, because let me tell you, I got into it and then missed this week's launch. And as soon as I opened it up, I went, nope. I have no idea what's fucking happening. But that's fine because that's largely what the game's built on. It's built on you just going, fuck it, I'll do this. And then like a character gets incinerated and a playoff game between gods becomes a peanut god that gets shelled and is actually the god Fortune, who then is killed by another god who takes charge. It's weird. It's weird and incredible.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Also, stay tuned to the Nerdy Bits Twitch. In the next couple days, now that Watch Dogs Legion has added multiplayer, we will be doing a real life and in-game pub crawl through the Watch Dogs pubs in the game while we drink simultaneously in real life.
That's funny.
So we're gonna drive around London in this game and go to bars and drink while we get drunk. So
fucking cool. That's
very cool.
So
video games are rad. Get into
games
them.
Are the best. And just speaking off of Jace's point, like we're coming up on a year and not being able to do this for real in person. So we're making do with what we got, and I think this will be fun. So feel free to join us on stream. Pay attention to my Twitter account. We'll talk about it as we get ready to do it. But feel free to join us and drink with us. It'll be awesome.
Hell yeah. We'll be back. God Christ. I'm gonna have to I don't know what I'm gonna have to cut out of this episode because there's a 40-minute guest interview I recorded as well. So I'll figure it out. Listener, you'll see how I've figured out how to get these 2 hours and 40 minutes to work together.
Yeah.
Probably gonna cut out Jace's and my
conversation
about AIDS culture and move it into its own separate bonus.
Could be its own thing. That was
probably
a
what
whole
I'm gonna
30-minute conversation that was very.
I think that would be.
Just be sure that later on, because slightly after that, I went when Caleb comes on, I was like, we were talking about AIDS, and I said it in like a very campy tiny moment.
I don't think I heard that, but if I had, I don't know if I would have.
Yeah, just make sure if you do separate that. Try and get rid of that, because that'll be really fucked up if you...
The conversation will go up first, so at least I think the context will make some sense. I'll figure this out.
So, because I after I said that, I was like, oh, if people don't know me or don't know who I am or what I've just been talking about, that sounds bad.
I simply have to imagine that this won't be many people's first episode of the show. I don't think most people are like, oh, a community podcast? Puppet episode.
And then all of a sudden they hear the resident trans person, just being like, hey! It's just not...
Hey!
Wow.
You could argue that someone would turn that on and hear that, and then out loud say something like,
oh, Lord, no!
Bingo.
Yay! Yay! We'll be back next week with a body swap episode and an episode that tells us that the study group was bonded before they even met. But until then...
a routine light check and then everything wrong with people trying to remake Ninja Turtles.
Fuck content, make art, and of course, pop.
Pop. Yeah, I like to think of the pop as like a... peace be with you and also with you kind of moment.
Take care of yourself and each other. Pop.
And then say it back. Pop.
Pop.
I have to go to the bathroom so badly, y'all.
Wow.
I was legit
Pop be with
I hope
you.
they make this quick. I have to piss. And then you did it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud.
Welcome back to Piss Squad.
The first time Caleb's ever wanted me to end this early.
Yeah, I was like, please God, make them finish this before the whole song, because I'm going to explode. Thank you, Jace. I love you.
I love you.
I love you too, Kev, but you didn't earn it the way Jace did this.
I defy your love. I challenge it. I make you question it every single week.
I threaten you with crow meat.
The good news is we won't be talking about WandaVision, so my feelings will be fine until next week when we start talking about...
Yeah, and I can fucking tell you right now, we are not making bonus episodes.
We're talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
We are not making bonus episodes about Falcon Winter Soldier.
Kev?
Guarantee.
Yes, we fucking are.
We probably will.
No, because I'm editing it.
I'm not releasing it.
No,
Caleb's like, fuck, I'll do it for nerdy bits.
This is true. This is very true. All right.
Yeah, you can have that. Okay.
This is like,
go piss.
You can make that content.
He actively calls it content because he hates it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I must bathroom.
Where would we go? We can go anywhere that you know. Could we travel through time?
Or maybe see France?
Or anywhere else naked ladies will dance?
Could we fly in a booth?
Could we go to church camp?
I'd rather stay at Greendale.
Could we ride a hot air
Now that's an adventure.
We should go soon.
We can go anywhere in a balloon.
Yes! That's an adventure.
We can go high.
We can see anything up in the sky.
Now that's an adventure. Pierce, bring your dentures. We're so thrilled because soon
We'll be in a hot air balloon.
You want to hear the weirdest thing?
Always.
So I have this tradition, and I don't know why, but before I record a podcast, and I have 200 episodes of my podcast done at this point, just about, I have to
Yikers.
yawn. I have to yawn before we record every time, no matter what,
It's your
no matter
ritual.
what time of day. It's like my body just tells me, like I just yawned twice, and I'm not tired at all. But we're about to record a
totally.
podcast, so
It's like you're getting it out. And that's, everyone has their own little rituals. I don't have as many for podcasting, but I think live performances, you hear about bands or performers, and they had these pre-show rituals, and it's just like you're tricking your brain and body into being in the right headspace to do what you're about to do.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You're playing a dirty trick on your own body.
Yeah, I definitely had those when I was doing musicals in high school too. I can't remember what they were, but I definitely remember doing the exact same thing before we would go on stage every time.
For sure. Or sometimes it was like a group thing, or you just had their own rituals, and you would go, town to town, school to school, like their department rituals were different, but they were always set.
Yeah.
And you could go back to your high school and be like, we used to do this when I was here, and they would go, we don't care.
I have no idea what you're referring to, and we don't
You
care.
mean nothing to me. Who are you? Yeah, exactly. It would be, it's like every movie or TV show where someone is like, you were a legend at blank university or blank high school. And I honestly just find that to be the least realistic plot line, because I think if you have left an educational environment for 4 years, there's literally no one there who remembers who you were.
Yeah,
There's
no one gives a single shit about you at all.
No one is passing down the lineage of a former student. Like, maybe there's one tall tale if someone, like, really goofed up. You know what I mean? Like, if someone, like, slammed their nuts in the lunchroom door and it was, like, a big story or something like that. But after 4 years, like, no one cares who broke the record or did this. Like, no one cares.
Yeah,
no one remembers who you are.
I feel like I can shed a little bit into this because I don't know, like, the high school that you went to or where you grew up from or anything, but I went to a very, very small high school. I think we had, like, 180 people in our graduating class, so we were very small.
I was pretty similar. I was like 250, but yeah.
We are the largest county in size in Ohio with the smallest population, and there's only one school for the whole county. So there are like almost families that are sports things. But like there's maybe only 2 people that you could mention that person's name and people in the county would be like, oh yes, I remember when that guy played football. But it's not like in, the trope of wearing your Letterman jacket and coming back and the whole town throwing you a parade and all this crazy stuff. Like,
absolutely. No one remembers who you are. Like, I guess that's a bygone era where nobody moved. You know? Like, this idea that, like, you found one place and then you lived there your entire life. And those living situations have changed a lot, I think, since we were making movies and TV shows where that was the plot.
Right.
Or, same thing with jobs. You used to just pick a job, and then that was your job for 50, 60 years, often at the same place. And I feel like our generation has almost completely, like, thrown that in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, most people change jobs and careers all the time now.
Yeah, and I hire a lot of people. I directly manage about 50 employees. And when I was, like, being, brought through this management system and learning the things, they're like, well, when you're looking at resumes and you see a long job history, that's a red flag. And then the more that I work in this job, the more I realize that is just absolute bullshit, because people just change jobs now. And that's a good thing. I think it's good for, your own mental sanity. And I think it's good for the economy. I think it's good for everything that people are, rotating and competing and getting more jobs and stuff now. So yeah, definitely that, plus people are moving far more than they used to. I think you're absolutely correct.
Absolutely. Like, even moving within, like, your own community. And admittedly, I'm 28 years old, so I don't know a lot of people that have, like, set their roots down, but everyone I know is just, like, bouncing all over the place. And part of that is that no one our age owns property. You know, like, you don't come out of high school or come out of college and just own property like you used to. And then part of that is, like, I think, and I'm sort of psychoanalyzing, like, an entire generation here, but I think we've, like, seen our parents and our grandparents do the lifelong living and working thing, and we see how it, like, didn't pan out for them. Not to throw an entire generation of parents under the bus, but it's like, oh, we kind of all saw, like, you did this thing that you were supposed to do, this thing that probably worked out pretty okay for their parents, like our grandparents, but did not work out for this generation preceding us. And so we're like, why would I stick at this job that I don't like? At least I can move to a different job and it's at least new. It's at least different.
And I mean, my wife and I, we just bought our house last year. I'm 24, so we're about the same age. But I mean,
oh well, mazel tov.
Yeah, thank you. But before we lived here, I mean, we lived in 3 different apartments in 3 different years, and then we've been here for about a year. So I mean, we definitely are bouncing around. And I mean, the only reason we were able to buy property where we did is just because the cost of living is so cheap. I mean, I think you mentioned, I feel like you somewhere said that you lived in St. Louis. Is that accurate?
I lived in St. Louis for 7 years, including college. I now live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And owning property here, yeah, that's a pipe dream to own Brooklyn property.
We have like a 1,500 square foot house, and we paid $150,000 for it, which you would never be able to do that in either St. Louis or Brooklyn. So
no, you would be lucky to, like, buy 10 square feet. Like, you can't get a closet for $150,000 like purchase.
Right.
So no, it's absolutely that's okay. It's different. I mean, you get the benefit of a much, much cheaper cost of living.
Yes, I do.
And there's benefits and trade-offs everywhere you go. But let that be a life lesson to all of you out there in listener land.
Yeah, listening to me talk about where I live, who you have no idea who I am. So.
Yeah, thank you for doxing yourself. You know, we have a lot of hackers out there in the audience. They're always trying to get people's financial information. They're always writing to me, like, can you get some guests to, like, give out their personal information? So I'm glad you could oblige them.
Yeah, if I do get hacked, could you leak my financial information and not, like, all my QAnon folders in my computer? That would be great, because I don't really want that getting out.
Trust the plan.
Yes, exactly.
You know, where we go one, we go all.
Of course.
Absolutely. How did, I gotta ask you, did you make it to DC for Trump's inauguration 4 days ago?
My lawyer told me not to comment on this.
Okay, that was wise.
Maybe off air.
Okay, cool. You can talk to me about Trump's re-inauguration as the 19th president of the United States. Listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't learn. don't look
I
this
would
up.
encourage you to look it up, because it's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. But I mean, don't fall for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, is that, like, if I'm the guy who, like, brings up QAnon jokingly, and I learn that, like, some poor listener, if Matt that runs the Communities fan account, like, fell down a Q rabbit hole because of me, and I know he's listening, I would feel very bad.
Oh my God.
So sorry, Matt. Shout out. Cool. So this is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, the guest interview portion. And I have with me a podcast host of his own right and friend of the show. Welcome, Dan Barnes, to the show.
Yeah, thanks. This has been a long time in the making, so I'm pretty excited to be on here talking to you, talking about my favorite TV show. I'm pretty pumped.
Absolutely. Yeah, this has been, you've been, we've been Twitter friends for a while.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, few months ago, we made the move to DMs, and that's a big step for a Twitter friendship.
Yes.
And then you requested to guest for the Puppet episode. And before we get into your thoughts on that episode in particular, I want you to tell me a little bit about your community journey, how long you've been with the show and how you came to it.
Okay, so I am pretty confident that no one... I'll tell you off air how I started watching it, actually, just in case.
Okay.
But I discovered it hanging out with my friends. And when I found it, I was probably 20. I had just quit my first job out of high school. We were all hanging out, and I think this was right when season 6 was like coming out. So I was not like a day oneer or anything of the show. I had never even heard of it. And I was a huge fan of Derek Comedy, and I loved the movie Mystery Team for all of its terribleness. So my friend once was like, "Hey, if you love, Donald Glover, and you love Derek Comedy and you love Mystery Team, you should watch the TV show that he's in." And I had no idea that he was in a TV show. So we sit down and we start watching random episodes from season 6, and I was like, "This is my life now."
So you started with 6.
I believe the first episode that I ever watched was when Abed saved the baby birds.
Wow, that's actually a good episode. That's not a bad place to start, because that's kind of like an interesting episode. I've never heard that someone started that deep in and then went back, but I love that.
So I watched one episode of it, and then as soon as my friends left, I went right back to what I was doing, and I started at season 1 and just grinded it all the way through.
Hell yeah. I like that the impetus to watch the show was Donald Glover, and so they showed you episodes without Donald Glover
I didn't
in
even
it.
think about that till just now, but yes, that is exactly how that
They're like, watch this Donald Glover show. Here is an episode that is about a year after he left. But I love that. I respect that. And that you were brought in. I mean, who could not be roped in by an episode that's about Jim Rash and Keith David and Ken Jeong? That's a murderer's row.
Yeah, I believe I was watching it and I was like, the Hangover guy is in this? This is crazy.
Yeah, wild cast of people who already had been like somewhat notorious or would become so right thereafter. Okay, well, excellent. Thank you for sharing that with me.
That brings me to my question before you move on to the next one, because I actually
Please do.
want to ask you, have you seen Mystery Team before?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw it. For a while, it was like one of the only things available on Netflix when it was called Netflix Instant. When it was not default Netflix, when the streaming service was like just coming out. I was entering college
the DVD
in 2000. Era. Yeah, when DVD Netflix was the default. And Instant was the new idea. So this is like 2011 for all you kids out there. And Mystery Team was like one of the only things on there, and I was like a huge Community fan. And then entering college is where I had known Derek Comedy because like it was YouTube in 2006. So if you didn't know Derek Comedy, there wasn't a lot else that of quality. There was a lot of things on there, but like Derek Comedy was one of the few, and those videos look ancient now, they're shooting on. They're shooting on like a horrible digital camera, and they're in a box with like the website name at the bottom of every sketch. But I don't know, they're still fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
I can watch the new student sketch 1,000 times and laugh every time.
Poops his pants, isn't it?
That's the principal poops his. I think the principal pooped his pants
to hurt your trust, like pooping my pants.
Right. And Donald would use that same beautiful crying ability in basically every episode of Community. Yes. He's one of the great comedic criers of our age. He doesn't seem interested in that skill set anymore when he writes for himself. But boy, he could do it.
Keyboard Kid is my go-to.
Yeah. Keyboard Kid. Oh God, Keyboard Kid. Now I might be going down a Derek comedy rabbit hole this very evening. Just revisiting some old faves. Spelling Bee. There's so much to love there. But yes, I saw Mystery Team and I liked it. I thought it was a funny little movie.
It is my guilty pleasure movie. I love that movie. I could probably quote that movie. I've seen it so many times. I own it on DVD.
It's beautiful. And I love the spirit of like truly independent comedy movies where you're like, they had $0. They had no money to make this movie, but they did it anyway. Foot Fist Way is another like movie, like a zero budget comedy movie. I guess the big one, you might even be a little young, but Napoleon Dynamite was
I've seen Napoleon Dynamite.
But it was like gigantic. Like, were you? Because I was in like 6th grade when Napoleon Dynamite fever was sweeping the nation. Vote for Pedro shirts were everywhere.
Oh my gosh, I have a Napoleon Dynamite story when you finish your thought.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I remember the first time I watched Napoleon Dynamite, I was in middle school. I cannot remember the year. And I had never seen the movie, but I remember that we were at a church lock-in, which, if you're not familiar with this,
yes,
as someone that grew up in the Christian faith, they would lock us in this church. Which, thinking back on it now, lock-ins are kind of really fucking weird. But they're
very weird.
But there was like a bunch of us little kids locked in this church with this youth pastor, and someone else in the group convinced him to let us watch Napoleon Dynamite, and he had never seen this movie. So we all watched Napoleon Dynamite, and that was the first time I had ever seen it.
Wow. I actually think that is part of the reason for Napoleon Dynamite's like gigantic success is that it was like PG. Like, it was this weird alt comedy thing, but it was completely appropriate for spaces like a church youth group. Like, there's hardly anything a youth pastor would find objectionable. I guess, like, Jared Hess did not have any of his characters, speak specifically about Christ, but there's also nothing in there that's, like, objectionable to a Midwestern church.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a very odd time, and I that memory's been buried, so thanks for pulling that one out, actually.
Absolutely. You're absolutely welcome. I've been to many church lock-ins in my time, and they are a fascinating beast. On my other podcast, the Puffin Publishing podcast, which is an improvised comedy pod, we did a whole, like, our 2nd anniversary special was a Bible special, and half of it was set at a church lock-in.
I'm gonna need to look into this.
We rung all the comedy you could. I will say that some of it hasn't aged as well. It was a different time. But it was half set in a church lock-in and half set in the Bible. So check it out for anyone out there. But back to Community momentarily, if we dare. So you specifically requested the episode we're talking about here today, Intro to Felt Surrogacy. I don't know how you feel about the Christmas episode that we're also talking about, but you specifically wanted to nail in on the infamous Community puppet episode. And the floor is yours to speak about why this one calls to you so desperately.
So, it's a few different reasons. I think part of it is I feel like I have to be the season 4 defender because Twitter just hates it. So I feel like someone in the room has to be like, it's not that bad. Like, of course it's the worst season, but it could be worse. Like, there's still funny jokes. And I feel like this is one of those episodes where if this exact same episode took place in season 2 or season 3, it would be immensely more popular than it is. Just because I feel like since it's in season 4, it gets a really bad rap. And to your point, I really like the Christmas episode as well. I think it's a very well put together episode. But the intro to Felt Surrogacy, I feel like it's the best episode in season 4. All of the jokes, they all really land. I love all the little songs. Everything that they bring up when they're having their hallucinations around the fire. I like all of them for each character's story. So I very much enjoyed the episode, and I am a little scared because at the end of last week, when you guys said that you were talking about this episode this week, everybody seemed to groan a little bit, and this is my episode, man. So
the listener has just heard at least an hour of me talking about this episode, and what has happened consistently throughout these last few runs of season 4 is that I come in usually pretty positive and then sort of get talked down a little bit. But Herstory of Dance placed very well. Like I am also somewhat of a season 4 defender. Yeah. I think it should be acknowledged it is the worst season of Community, but it's still Community.
Right.
My issue with this season is that even the bad episodes of Community season 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, even like the worst of those episodes are still like weird in a fascinating way. Like even the ones that don't work of my beloved season 6, there are a few in there that I'm like, this doesn't quite come together. But all of them are still fascinatingly strange, or have just like some transcendent moment of comedy or strangeness, and that's just lacking from season 4 in its worst episodes. Like you just watch the Inspector Spacetime episode or the History of the German Invasion, and you're like, there's nothing. I'm not getting anything back from this.
Yeah, for me, my feelings about season 4 is I feel like there's no episodes that I just like, if they come up on my Netflix queue, if I'm just watching the show to go to sleep and that episode plays, that I'm just like, whatever about. Like, to me, season 4, every episode is either, I do not want to watch this, I'm not going to do it, or I go out of my way to watch that episode. Like, for example, the PEE episode, I thought it was a very, very good episode. I thought it was a lot better than how you guys felt about it. It's very high on my list of favorites, probably in like the 20s.
Of the whole series?
Of the whole series, yes. I very much like the PE episode. So I could care less, or could not care less, about the Archie storyline. Very easily willing to surrender that. But I feel like the B, or I mean, there's like a B, C, and D plot. So I feel like it's a very good, and the purpose of they gave every single character something to do that actually made sense and was nice. The Troy and the Shirley thing was great. I loved that. And I think season 4 tries to do a lot of that. My biggest take about season 4, and this is something we'll never know, is when they started, it was, post Dan Harmon, so everything's going to change. I believe the Russo brothers were out for season 4 as well. Then they finish up in season 3, right?
Yeah, they're out about halfway through season 3.
Yeah. Because
Feige is a big Community fan, and so he taps them and says, like, do Captain America.
Yeah.
And then Joe Russo comes back for a couple episodes of season 5. But Anthony never comes back. So the Russos are basically gone after...
And that's a big change.
After season 3.
And I feel like if season 4 was 22 episodes long, like the other seasons. I mean, one, we probably wouldn't have a season 5 and 6, but I feel like by the end of season 4, they really would have hit a stride, and the show would be, or that season would be a lot better. Because I do feel like towards the end, you get some episodes that are pretty solid. Like the PE episode, I feel is nice. Intro to Felt Surrogacy, I love this episode. Of course, that's why I specifically requested for it. I don't mind Entry to Knots. The Freaky Friday episode was cute. And then the Abed's origin story was nice as well. So I feel like they did put together some decent episodes right at the end there, and maybe if they would have got 7 more to play with, they could have put together something really good. But I'm not going to pretend like there's not a lot about season 4 that was awful. They do try to do some racy things that don't land. The Troy and the Britta plotline is awful. They have probably the worst 2 or 3 episodes in the whole series in this season as well. So, well, I do feel there is a lot of bad. I think there's a lot of good that doesn't get talked about enough.
Absolutely. I think, a common parlance is that season 4, if it were the first season of a different TV show, we would be like, oh, this is a good, interesting TV show.
And
but
that's
unfortunately,
fair.
it comes after seasons 1 through 3 of Community.
Yeah.
And they were in a no-win situation. I don't think there's anything they could have done that would satisfy all that was being asked of them between Sony and NBC, between quote-unquote the fans, between what the actors were requesting. Like, there was no win situation that this show could come out of. And I agree that this second half, even the episodes that I don't find, like, as effective as they could be, are still like, no, these are good episodes. They are reaching for something. They are trying something dynamic and new. The Heroic Origins episode, which I don't much care for, but I'm like, you didn't have to go this hard with, like, the comic panel transitions,
Right.
and all these, like, in the second half, the finale excluded, at least they're always trying something new and different, and that's when it starts to feel like Community again.
Right. The finale is terrible. I agree with you. That is
Really deeply bad.
very, very a hard watch. Like,
And I was watching season 4 as it was coming out, and, like, I had been very lenient to this season. I was, like, reviewing it at the time on, like, a WordPress blog. I was talking about it with my friends that liked the show. And I was just so devastated for that season 4 finale. It's just irredeemable. It's really, really bad.
yeah, it's tough. It is just like, ugh. It's just so bad.
Yeah.
But you know, I love the songs and I'm just gonna just go right back to the episode that we're talking about here. I love the songs and I love the cute little Muppets talking. Also, Jim Rash is incredible in this episode.
He's very good. I think
incredible in this episode.
Jim is the most skilled in the entire cast of, like, he makes something out of everything.
Yeah.
You can give him anything and he will spin it into something funny.
Like the very end of the episode where he's like, I fix everybody's problems, but once again I go home alone, and then you just see the little Jeff puppet curling, and, like, the way he, like, bites his lip and looks at it, it kills me every time.
Jim is the fucking best. He can do no wrong.
Oh, and what's that line at the beginning where he's like, just let me get that thing out of your hand that's definitely not a whip.
Not a whip. And I think that line on its own is, like, you know, ugh, but Jim just makes it fucking sing. Like, he can just turn anything into fucking golden thread. He can spin it all. Yeah, absolutely. I am talking to you. We record the episode proper tomorrow. I am coming into the Puppets episode pretty positive because, like, I don't know if we're grading on the season 4 scale. This episode has puppets and songs. Two things I like.
Two great
like,
things.
Yeah, if I'm putting this up against, like, the season 4 premiere, I'm like, oh, this is gonna blow it out of the water. This has puppets and songs.
Yes.
There's elements of it that quibble with me, but it's I don't know. At least it has that.
I love when they're singing, like, their regular not lines, and and they also got Chevy Chase to sing in this. That's a big
Which he
thing.
barely even does in the other episodes of Community that require him to sing.
Yeah.
You know?
Got him. They got him. But I do love how they're all, like, singing it, like, the casual tone, like, the flow of the episode, and then Donald Glover just comes out and belts these notes about setting a forest on fire. Like,
They really let you have the Community cast members that can just sing it. Yeah. That can just do the dang thing. Shirley, of course, Yvette, Allison, and Donald just really stand head and shoulders above the pack here. They got pipes.
That's why the Glee episode's my favorite holiday episode. Because they really get to show off them pipes.
Absolutely. The spoilers for our rankings. The Puppet episode won't defeat the Glee episode. But I hope. It shouldn't.
Yes.
But I hope, because there's nothing as, like, transcendently funny in the Puppet episode as
right.
silly Christmas baby, like Allison Brie's dance number in that episode. There's nothing in here as good as that, unfortunately.
I am trying to. I want to give a prediction of where I think this is going to fall. But sure. I'm trying to pull up your rankings. This is horrible podcasting. But I feel like it's pinned on the podcast page. No, it is not.
It's if you go into if you find like our most recent episode, I could also just like shoot you that Google Drive link as long as you promise not to do any meddling.
I might put cartoon penises in it.
Oh, well, you know, that's fine.
Just kidding. I won't do that. But...
Just don't mess with the rankings.
No.
Yeah, I just put it in the Skype chat if you want to just open up like the Google Doc.
Do that. Let me just look.
Mm-hmm. So by the time we are done ranking these two episodes, we will have ranked 81 episodes of Community. And as of this recording, season 4 has a 67.75 average, which is not excellent.
So the best season 4 episode is Herstory of Dance. Am I seeing that right?
So far, yeah. Number 43, and that I feel is probably the ceiling, but
I would guess that this episode is going to be probably between aerodynamics of gender and celebrity pharmacology. I think that's going to be my guess.
That's probably pretty accurate. Okay, so you're at 46, 47. That feels about right. I think you're pretty close, if not exact, in that zone. Listeners, you already know whether or not that's true.
I personally would probably put it, like if this was my own rankings and you just handed me this and said I'm in charge of your podcast now, I would put it below Football Feminism and You, but above Documentary Filmmaking Redux. That's where I would put this.
Whoa! Top 25, just cracking.
It would be just in the top 25. And I think I was wrong. I do not think the PE episode would make my top 30. I think it would fall more in the 40s.
I am, again, somewhat of a season 4 defender. You'd have to go pretty far down on my own personal rankings to get to the first season 4 episode. Herstory could possibly get into the top 30, but I would find that doubtful if you asked me to.
Hey, that's
to rank.
Okay, man. Everybody's just enjoying their show, you know?
Absolutely. Right. It's we're not beholden to anyone, but unfortunately our rankings are indeed scientific and accurate and cannot be questioned in any way.
You guys are spot on with Fiddler Please is the number 1 in tag, though.
Oh my god, it cannot be dethroned.
Ever.
I don't even know what could dethrone it. Although the season, as much as I love Donald and Danny, Abed and Troy, when Donald leaves and the end tags become bananas, just like the weirdest things you've ever seen, dude, I think a few of those are going to rank very high for me personally.
I hope Portuguese Gremlins is top 10, because that is so funny.
It's my personal top 10. Oh my god. Portuguese Gremlins, the Yakuza Origins, the Coogler movie trailer, the final, the series finale tag with the board game, just bananas stuff, and it's those are going to kill for me. I'm gonna fight for those tooth and nail because I love them so dearly.
I will be cheering for you. The one thing that like shocked me is I couldn't believe that Let's V Splingles was. You guys didn't think that was as funny. Well, I guess you did. You actually really liked this episode, but I like that episode and that tag. Like that tag that much, but I think that tag is so funny.
Oh, I love it.
Such a funny tag.
Where is
you have it at 29? I think. Yeah, 29.
29's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good. It's so
there's
easy.
80 of these damn things.
It's so easy. That's very true. It's so easy to see a number and think that's very low, without and then realizing there's 80 episodes.
There's 80 episodes, and sometimes I'm like, how could it be possible that beginner pottery is 37? I'm like, how does that even make sense? And then I look at what's above beginner pottery, and I'm like, nah, checks out. No, afraid not.
I do that sometimes when I'm looking at these, or when you guys will like talk about an episode. I'll I'll see it and be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, it sounds wrong, but then you look at it and you're like, nah, context is everything. Absolutely. Cool. So we are coming to the end of our session here, but this was a darn fun time. Now is the time where you can plug anything that you would like.
I do have that, but my question for you, Kevin, that I've been saving for this whole episode.
Oh my goodness.
The one unanswered community thing that I have. What does Jeff do for money?
That is a good question.
Because season 1, I think you can say he had savings from being a lawyer or whatever until he's living.
Although, yeah, they pretty early on address like he is running out of money and has to like leave his condo and is living in his car.
But Drew Carey offers him a job, but he clearly doesn't accept it because he had no idea the dude died. So like, where's this money come from?
Dang, you're right. In the season 3 finale,
he has no idea that the guy died.
We learned that Drew Carey was eaten by sharks, and he was completely unaware. Yeah. Oh, that wrenches the entire thing that I had going.
Yeah,
because I think he did consult for a while, but he obviously, unless it like just happened.
Well, I don't.
You know what
I don't know, but I mean, like, even if it just happened logically thinking, like, 1, he'd have to quit that job. And why would you quit that job when you were about to get your degree? And 2, the owner of your firm dying by being eaten by sharks, I feel like is something that someone would put on their Facebook page.
You send out the mass text. Send out the email blast.
Yeah, so that one gets me. And then, but like in season, I can't remember what season it was off the top of the dome, but in the episode where they do My Dinner with Abed, he pays Britta's boss like $2,000 for the night, and he does it like it's nothing. So it's like, Absolutely. Where is this money coming from?
Right, and in season 4, he has a very nice apartment that they do the Christmas episode in. I mean, my true answer is that it is a sitcom, and I just cannot concern myself with how anyone pays for anything. That is the true answer, but that's not fun.
But I feel like they cover the rest, like everybody else they talk about. Like they go out of their way to point out that Annie saved money her whole life. Troy and Abed, they're college kids, so they have student loans. Britta, is, like, kind of like white trash the whole series.
But she has various like waitressing jobs.
Yeah. And then Pierce is rich. So Jeff's the only one they don't address.
That's true. Shirley becomes an entrepreneur.
So if you get the answer, can you let me know?
I absolutely, if I crack this code, because I thought the legal consultancy thing was the answer, but now you're telling me that, because he accepts it in Accounting for Lawyers, the episode with Drew Carey. He says like, no, I'm going to do it, so, but at some point he must break that tie.
Yeah, it would have to be long enough away that if your boss was eaten by sharks, none of your old coworkers would tell you.
Would think to mention it.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to watch that episode again and see if there's like a clue in there that we're both missing, that it's like, no, he is there. This is tough, because he starts his own law firm and becomes a teacher, so that's how he does it later.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
And if you find out, let me know. That's all I want to know.
I will let you know.
But I will plug my Twitter now if you want.
Please.
So I am the host of the Coast to Coast college football podcast. So it's sports related, nothing related to TV or anything. You can check it out or not. I really just did this to hang out and talk about community. But my Twitter handle is at CCS Dan Barnes. Follow me if you like football and aggressively progressive retweets.
You love to see it. And thank you for joining me here on the show. If you ever need someone that doesn't know anything about college football, you just let me know.
Yeah, I mean, we in the summer, what we like to do is we like to bring in like we had someone from The Voice come on last year. Then I
cool.
found out that person was like a huge Trumper later, and that was like kind of weird. But we had someone from The Voice come on, so we like to bring people from different things to like talk about their stuff. And your work is awesome, Kevin. So I would love to have you come on, talk about your Scooby Doo and the Mystery Van YouTube skit, anything that you do. We'll definitely have to do that.
We'll figure something out. Thank you.
And if you ever need
all
a
right.
guest host, if someone's gone and you need to fill in, hit that DMs. I'll be on.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.
That was quite a show. Very entertaining.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Boopy doopy doop boop sex.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.